I can't hear anything.
All right. Yeah, I don't have the intro faded out. I don't have it. It just
Okay.
cuts off. So what do you do? How do you get on? First of all, what is it called? Sirius Octane?
Sirius XM Octane. It's
Okay.
like
It's like a radio station.
Yeah, it's Sirius XM. It's the satellite radio thing. It's been around for a while now. But yeah, so they have like two kind of major rock stations there, and I forget what the other one's called, but the other station is more focused on legacy rock and metal, that kind of, your Metallicas, Nirvana, that kind of stuff. And then there's Sirius XM Octane, which is new rock. And like all the bands that are in like the active rock, metalcore, whatever you want to call it, like heavy rock genres are trying to get on there, basically.
Is active rock an actual genre, or is that a description of many genres?
Yeah, well, it's like there's I would say it's sort of like it could refer to like a bunch of different things.
Metal isn't a genre anymore.
Right, yeah.
Metal
it's an umbrella that
exactly.
encompasses,
Yes.
So yeah, like,
is that what active rock is?
Yeah, so it's like radio friendly heavy rock is
Okay.
active rock.
So it could be some electronic stuff like what you guys do every once in a while. It could be even go into like a little industrial, which is what Montoya does every once in a while in some of his older projects. But it's still upbeat hard rock.
Yep. Yeah, and it's like, I'd say like some of the earliest bands that were called that were probably like 3 Days Grace, Breaking Benjamin kind of stuff.
Got it.
Like
that's pretty cool.
Bands from like the early 2000s, and then modern day it's more like Wage War, Bad Omens, Bring Me the Horizon kind of stuff. And those bands, like, they get heavier too, but they're like big singles or like what you would call active rock, I'd say.
Got it.
Yeah.
Man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So for people that don't know, tell people who you are and what you do.
So my name is I don't know where I'm supposed to look for this, but
you can look right into these fucking these puppies right here, buddy.
All right. So my name is Caio Thomas. I'm
How do you pronounce it?
Caio. It's spelled
Caio?
CAIO, as you could probably read in the title. But I play guitar in the rock band The Failsafe.
Okay.
So yeah.
You also, are you still playing with Leduc?
Oh yeah, David Leduc. He's a good buddy of mine. I actually met him. We're both pretty big into pickleball.
Stay close to that mic.
Yeah, so
that's where you guys met.
Yeah, we met.
Scoot forward. Is he too far back? Losing you on the big cam, the overhead.
All right. So yeah, we randomly like ran into each other one day on the pickleball court, and we're like, he's like, I can't remember what it is, but he's like, yeah, I knew Jesse growing up, like the singer of the band.
Yeah. So David, and Jesse are almost the same exact age, same era of the music industry, and we were all in shitty. I wouldn't say shitty, but we were all in very new, inexperienced bands together at the same time, trying to play the same venues, opening for the same bands, using the same booking agents. And I don't think all three of us hung out at Area 52, but all three of us were kind of in that little rung. And there's a bunch of us, actually. There's like probably 5 or 6 more. And everybody just kind of branched out and had different versions of their success in the music industry. Obviously, you're working with Jesse in one band, and you're working with David in another one. Yeah,
so me and David, we're not like so David has this sort of like music collective, I would call it, called the MTVs, where it's sort of like this loose group of musicians who, members will swap in and out for different shows to basically do like cover gigs.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually haven't done a show with them since last year, so it's been a while. But
really?
Yeah. But actually no, I think maybe
you did
it was
one this year. You did some this year for sure.
Yeah, well,
and the only reason I know is because my old guitar player Dalton was fucking with the MTVs for a while.
Right, yeah, he played bass, I think.
No, he was playing guitar. You basically replaced Dalton.
Okay. I've been thinking of a different
Dalton's
Dalton.
a phenomenal lead guitar player.
Okay.
Like breathtakingly good. Like everybody who plays with Dalton is like, that dude's fucking amazing. Like he's awesome.
Yeah, but David's main thing he does is pop rocks. So they're like, I don't know if you heard of them, but they're like a pretty huge cover act. Like they do, like I've seen them a few times, and they put on a great show. Like they've got multiple different singers that will come out in costume to look like the singer of whatever song they're covering.
It's like Hairball, but not 80s metal.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
We should explain to people who, because not everybody's from Minnesota. Like this is, believe it or not, this is not, this podcast is popular like in the local music scene. And then it's well, we're not even on audio anymore, but on audio, we're way more popular everywhere else.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you. God, you son of a bitch. Why you do that to me, bro? I got to get a fucking mic back there so the fucking audience can hear you talking shit and roasting me from behind the scenes. My producers are so disrespectful, dude. Like, just the lack of respect. No, I'm kidding.
I got to keep you humble somehow.
No, they're great, but they do give it back to me a little bit. So when did you start playing music, and was guitar your first instrument?
No, actually. So my first ever thing I did with music was I took piano lessons starting from age 5, and I absolutely fucking hated it.
Was it because it was forced on you, or you didn't like the instrument, or was it the style of music? Because this is a common
I would
theme.
I would say it's a combination of it being forced on me and I didn't like the style of music.
So, like, if you would have gotten fucking, what's that Jerry Lee Lewis song, Great Balls of Fire? If they would have started you with that, maybe it'd have stuck a little bit more.
Or, well, actually, probably back then it would have been like fucking Backstreet Boys or something.
Get out of here, dude. Really? Are you into that kind of shit?
I mean, like I was back then. Like,
were you really?
That was like what was out at the time.
Were you trying to? But were you into it because you were trying to get bitches, or were you into it because you really like the harmonies?
I don't know. I was 5 years old, man. Like it just.
Are you that young?
I'm 32. Well, I'll be 33 actually on Thursday. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I didn't realize you were that much younger than me. I mean, you're only like 7 years younger than me, but
yeah.
Still, I thought you were only like 3 years younger than me, 4 years younger than me. You got a real 36-year-old presence.
Okay. I'll take that as a compliment. And not that just that I look old.
No, you don't look old. You just look 3 years older than you are. I'm kidding, dude. I'm just fucking with you, bro. I did not realize that other people experienced that band younger than me. It's one of those like moments of true ignorance. Like I think everybody experienced that band when they were a teenager. And if you were a girl, you were in love with someone in one or multiple of those acts. And if you were a guy and you were into it, you better be a singer.
Yeah.
Or you were trying to get bitches.
Yeah.
Because if not, you were probably just gay, right? Not that there's anything wrong with being gay, but like there's a very small segment.
I totally get what you mean. That's just how it was back then. Yeah. Like,
but I will admit something, just so you're not alone on this island, bro. When I was 12 years old, I was really into Boys to Men.
Yeah.
Like really into, but I'll tell you why. It's because a bunch of super hot chicks were into Boys to Men, and I could sing. I had this beautiful little fucking prepubescent R&B voice, and I was trying to get bitches, bro. So, but I got into them because it was actually good. Like that's the difference. It's like why you got into it versus why I like continue. Because I'll still listen to that Boys to Men record and like bob my head. I'm like, yeah, dude, like this is good music. The End of the Road. This is the end of the road. I'm like, yeah, these guys were fucking awesome. I'll make love to you. Dude, what happened to R&B, dog?
I mean, it became fused with rap, and now it's melodic rap, I guess is what you'd call it.
You think so?
Yeah.
Are you into rap?
I'm not like
hip hop.
I mean, not really. I mean, like as far as like I'm definitely not like pumping the latest rap playlist or anything. Like on my two genres that I listen to mostly are rock and country. Actually, I'm like a low closet country fan. But
no shit.
Yeah,
that's also something that's changed a lot. Like country's not even country anymore. It's like it's like hip hop with an accent. Yeah, dude, the Beyonce thing is a great conversation topic because she's super pissed off she didn't earn any awards or get nominated, or other people are offended for her, whatever. I want to hear your opinion on this because mine is simple. I listen to that record. I don't hear a country record.
Right.
I hear a hip-hop artist doing something that vaguely sounds like country.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't listened to the whole record that she put out. Like, I've heard the singles, but yeah, it's pop music with country influenced pop, right? That's what I'd say.
Who do you think's responsible for that? Because I remember Tim Morton, my old bass player from Dying Euphoria, telling me that the downfall of country music happened because of Shania Twain. Remember, she did that first record, and then she did that crossover pop record.
Well, I can tell you, like, I mean, it depends on the era, because country has had rises and falls throughout multiple times throughout the history of music, I'd say. So, like, right now, country is in, like, a boom. Like, it's in an upswing right now, because fucking, Beyonce just did her country record. Post Malone just did a country record. Like everybody wants to be country right now. And, like, the biggest country artists are doing almost as well as the biggest pop artists.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I went to, do you know the Stormbreaker boys?
Yeah, I know of them. I'm not sure if I've met them personally. So
they've been on the podcast a few times, and I'm not going to sit here and bullshit and be like, I'm best friends with those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be weird because they're literally almost fucking 15 years younger than me, or more than 15 years younger than me. But, I will say that they're the homies, right?
Right.
And so I got close enough with Logan Stahlecker to where an opportunity came through the door, and I was not in a position to take advantage of it. So I referred it out, basically. I did some real networking. This is kind of like part of the mission of this podcast, is I'm trying to rebuild that old community that we used to have, where it's like a living fucking entity, the local music scene, and if we do well, it'll turn into an industry again, where people are actually making money doing this.
Yeah.
I did what I think we need to do, and I said, I'm not able to take advantage of this and help you out, but I know a guy. So let me make a couple phone calls, because he may not be available, but I'll find you somebody. Like, don't go calling a bunch of other people. I got you. And he's like, fucking sweet.
Yeah.
And Logan went and played this fucking show. Basically, not for me, but, like, again, I just wasn't in a position to do it, right? I could have, but I just wasn't in the right spot. It was like, what's best for this guy is to get somebody not only better than me, but in a better position than me to help him out. And I'm being vague on purpose, because I'm not trying to name drop or do anything weird. My point is that it was a very big outdoor show, and it was basically, I'm not even going to say what it was, but here's what I came out of that show going. Okay, if you want to outdraw everybody in the world, and you want to get a fucking crowd full of smoking hot chicks, like the entire crowd is gorgeous women, basically book a country show with a bunch of hip hop acts in between, because that's what this was. This was a country festival with a bunch of hip hop acts that went in between each country act, and the entire crowd was some of the most beautiful women, including my wife. Was like, these women are insanely gorgeous. Like, I didn't know, because she's not from here. My wife's like, I didn't know Minnesota had this many beautiful women. She's like, I thought it was just a bunch of linebackers. She's from the South. She's like, and trust me, there's plenty of big women down there too, but they're built different up here. Corn fed. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying, dude?
Yeah, they got
Norwegian women.
the
Norwegian women.
Blood,
yeah, dude. Right?
Yeah,
right?
The
again,
Viking blood.
Not criticizing. I'm just saying it was a very different, like, you go to a Seal show, right? You go to a Metallica show, you're going to see normal people. But if you want to bring out, like, all the hot chicks in an entire fucking area, book a country festival with a bunch of hip-hop acts. And you will see, and that's why I was at the shows, to support my boy.
Yeah.
And, dude, it's something. It's something going on For sure. And there was a bunch of acts in there that were doing both as well. There was a young black dude who is pretty fucking talented, actually, because everybody was like talking shit about him in the crowd, or they were loving him in the crowd. Like, it was like everybody polarizing, that's the word. Everybody either loved him or hated him.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, my wife wanted to leave, and I was like, well, I want to check this dude out and see why he's so polarizing. And he started to set. We stayed for 3 songs. He was not the headliner, but he was one of the later acts. And I just remember like being like, dude, this guy's super legit. Like, there's zero auto-tune going on. Like, he's singing that. He's not lip syncing. The music is basic as fuck. Like, everything I'm seeing on stage is kind of a corny, cheesy gimmick.
Right.
But I was like, the dude's legit. Like, he's obviously super talented. I was like, and we walked out of there with me and Kate kind of talking about, like, we don't understand why anybody hates this guy. Like, if you don't like him, I get it, but like, how could you hate somebody? All music is polarizing like that, but especially it seems like the newer pop, country, hip hop shit super polarizing. Like, people either love it or they hate it.
Yeah, it's and that.
Murph, will you grab me a beer, please?
That's kind of sort of the
You
thing.
want another beer?
Yeah, I can have one on deck. I'm almost done with this one, but. Anyway, so the most recent fall of country music, which happened about 10 years ago, I'd say, was due to something called bro country. I don't know if you're familiar with that term.
I've heard the term. Explain it to me, because I'm not sure I can correlate it to a style. Is that
so,
like the...
Do you know the band Florida Georgia Line?
Yeah.
They launched that whole
Is that like
subgenre.
the... Save a horse, ride a cowboy. Is
No,
that bro country?
I guess you could, but it's like proto bro country, because because that song is like 20 years old now, and like what actually is considered bro country came out about
after that.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's
like
proto. Is that what you called it? That's proto bro.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I mean, you could put in like the Trace Adkins kind of shit in there too.
Okay.
But that's more like old school still. But like the newer style of bro country was all spun off of Florida Georgia Line and everybody trying to copy them. So like what they did is they like country was pretty like sort of corny before that, like in general. But they like came in and fused it especially with rock and especially hip hop. Like they did like a collab with like Nelly and shit like that.
Okay.
And they were like one of the first like country acts to start doing that. And
so we wouldn't have a little Nas X Old Town Road if it wasn't for these guys.
Yeah, probably not. But yeah, so like that was like, you know, that started back in like 2012, 2013, and then there was like a big backlash about how country was like super misogynistic and stuff, because it was every song was just like, oh girl, take them shorts off and come jump up in this truck, kind of shit like that. Like every song was like
they
that.
hip hopified it.
Yeah, right.
They 80s metaled it. But here's and this is the thing is I don't think anybody understands. When young men who want to fuck start making music in any fucking genre, they're gonna sing about pussy.
Yep.
80s hair metal, pussy.
Yeah.
Most hip hop, pussy, right? Yeah, they sing about some other shit, but pussy, right? And that country just did the same thing. Like it's only wait till dubstep does it. I wanna stick it in your butt. Like they'll be singing some wild shit. I'm telling you, dubstep's gonna make a comeback, dude. Dubstep never got its proper run.
Yeah, that was like a flash in the pan kind of thing too.
But back to country, we don't have to.
But anyway, like
we don't have to digress too far.
Like that the genre got so oversaturated with that style that it just every song just got old to people, and then everybody thought country was lame again. They're like, fuck this bro country shit. Everyone's just copying and pasting the same thing over and over.
Which all genres do.
Yeah.
Again, both genres I just mentioned, which I think that is the death of a genre, right? Is when it gets so popular that other labels, like record labels, start formalizing it, right? You've seen this with every single genre of music that's ever been popular, from classic rock to hair metal to thrash metal even, to grunge, through nu metal, through metalcore, through hip hop. And as soon as the corporations get involved and they start putting together bands, maybe this is what happened to R&B. I asked this question earlier. Maybe this is what happened to R&B, is once it was literally like, we have a formula, I can find any 5 pretty white boys and put them together.
Yeah.
It's like as soon as you get to that point, it's dead.
Right.
Before you've even done it, as soon as you arrive at that conclusion and you go, I figured out this genre and now I'm going to corporatize it, as soon as that thought enters some A&R executive's brain, it's over. And it sounds like that's kind of what you're describing in country music as well. And I don't think that's unique to that industry or genre.
Yeah, well, the crazy thing about genres these days is I feel like we're getting closer and closer to a like post-genre world. Like we were talking before, Beyonce's made a country album, Post Malone made one. Like, people don't care what genre they're doing anymore. They're just like, I just want to like mishmash everything that's cool together now, or what everybody thinks is cool right now. Just take elements of it, put it all into one song, and put it out. Like,
it's weird too because country also has like a weird like gatekeeping thing that goes with it.
Right.
So, do you know about this?
Well, yeah, that was something that kind of happened to Lil Nas X too.
Yeah. Explain this for people that don't know.
About Lil Nas X
and the weird gatekeeping thing that is in country music that doesn't exist in any other genre.
Yeah, so I guess you kind of have to have like a country lifestyle cred, I guess, within country. So, you grew up on a farm, you like to hunt and fish, I don't know, you dip. What's the other, like?
Do you own a truck?
Yeah, you drive a pickup truck. That's another one.
You have to own a track. No, I think actually what it is you can't chart on the country charts unless you have a country artist on your track. And so for example, Little Nas X, that Old Town Road, wasn't even though it was literally number 1 on every country radio station, because he wasn't a country artist. It couldn't officially go number 1 on the charts.
Right.
So he re-recorded it with Billy Ray Cyrus, and then it immediately went to number 1 because Billy Ray is an actual certified country artist.
Right. Okay.
But the only way you can become a country artist is to sing on a country record. So it's kind of like SAG, right? You can't get a SAG card for acting unless you act on a SAG film.
Yeah.
But you can't act on a SAG film unless you have a SAG card.
Right.
And a SAG film can't be a SAG film unless it has a SAG actor. So there's like it's a weird little gatekeeping thing they do to like prevent anybody from doing it, is the point. And originally it was to protect it from being taken over and invaded by things like corporate interests and literally foreign companies coming in and doing whatever they wanted and taking something over, or the mob, or you got to be kind of use your imagination as to what they could have possibly been afraid of, but they did it to protect something.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, actually,
that's the formal.
I didn't. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, I didn't know that specifically. Like, they had like a rule about
that,
it's super
weird.
It's like, but
that's why Billy Ray is on that remixed version.
But that makes a lot of sense. Like, with sort of like Nashville as its own thing, because there's been there's like the whole outlaw country thing that happened in the 70s, and that probably has to do with those artists not wanting to be on Nashville labels and go through that all the bullshit that, or like Texas country is another thing where they're sort of aside from that whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and well, there was also, because didn't outlaw country get started with Johnny Cash?
Yeah, it was Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson,
Hank Williams. I
think. What's the other fucking guy?
Hank Williams, right?
Hank Williams Jr. Hank Williams would have been dead at that point, I think. So maybe Hank Williams, but God, what's the other guy? Waylon Jennings. That's the other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
Yep.
I'm not a big country fan, but I know a lot about it because a lot of people in my life are huge country fans.
Yeah.
So whether I liked it or not, whether I wanted to like it or not, whether I wanted to consume it or experience or not,
Right.
was very irrelevant to the people around me. Like, it was shoved down my throat. And so, like you in the piano lessons, I hated country because partly it was forced on me. But I developed soft spots. One of those soft spots is Garth fucking Brooks, dude.
Oh yeah, he's great.
I love Garth Brooks.
Yeah, it's got great songs.
I do want to know where the bodies are buried. Do you know this joke?
No.
So do you watch Tom Segura, any comedians podcasts and shit?
Not really, no.
I'll give you the elevator version. Okay, so here's what happened, right? So Garth Brooks joined Facebook and started making these really weird videos. He's like, hey guys, I've been resistant to join social media, but somebody told me just think about it's like starting a conversation, and I like that.
Oh fuck! I know what you're talking about.
Dude.
Yeah. Garth Brooks did that whole thing.
Dude,
he's like, I like that. Yeah.
So Tom Segura, he goes, have you seen this video? And he plays it, and he goes, this dude is a fucking psychopath. Like this is somebody who's been so rich and he keeps going. I'm a Garth Brooks fan, but this is somebody who is so rich and so successful and has been for so long. They are completely disconnected from reality and how normal people like interact with the world, right?
Yeah.
And so that evolved into him going, I want to know where the bodies are buried, because he's clearly a fucking murderer, right? And then that evolved into, with zero prompting from Tom Segura, his entire fan base immediately trolling every single Garth Brooks online social media post on any platform. If you go to the comments section, it's, where are the bodies? The families deserve closure. Dude, it's gotten so bad that when Tom Segura broke his arm really badly, right? Every once in a while, apparently Garth Brooks will play this video for somebody, and he'll be like, you see that? And he plays the video of him getting injured and almost losing his arm, and he goes, karma. And It is the greatest long-running bit in podcast history. It is the single greatest moment that is still going on. Like, dude, oh man. If you go to right now, if you're listening to this podcast and then you're done and you see the next Garth Brooks post pop up on any platform, click the conversation, click the comment section, and I guarantee you will see nothing but these comments. Like, they just completely take a, where are the bodies? The families deserve closure. It's so fucking funny, dude. Oh my God. But I love Garth Brooks. I want to know where the bodies are, but I'm a huge fan. So I'm just going to keep on supporting old Garth.
Yep, somewhere out on his giant compound in Oklahoma, I bet.
I mean, I got to respect him, too, because he refused to ever get into streaming. He was like, nope, if you want my stuff, buy my CD.
Yeah. The only reason my grandma passed away 5 years ago now, and she left me her entire box collection of Garth Brooks CDs.
Really?
So, yeah.
Do you remember when he was doing, what was his alter ego's name? I always forget.
I don't even know.
Do you remember this? Chris Gaines. Have you ever seen Chris Gaines?
No.
Murph, pull up a photo of Garth Brooks as Chris Gaines. You can just find the album cover. So Garth Brooks went through this phase where he was so successful, he was worried that his music was only popular because he was Garth Brooks. So he wrote and produced music under an alter ego named Chris Gaines.
So he did the Stephen King thing with the Richard Bachman. I don't know if you're familiar with that. But
yeah, that's exactly what he did. I forgot about Stephen King. I knew he wasn't the one who invented this. Goddamn, dude, that's exactly what it. Richard Bachman, dude. Yeah. Did you find it, Steve? Here it is. There you go. Remember when Garth Brooks was Chris Gaines played Saturday Night Live? And he went like kind of emo. Yeah, he like look at the little facial hair under there. Yeah, dude. Yeah, you'll have to go check this out, dude. See if you can find us a clip See if you can find us a clip of Chris Gaines on Saturday Night Live. I'd like to see that video, dude.
You should bring back that look. That's a good look for him.
No, it's not. Don't do that. You dick. You could pull off that look. Garth Brooks should fucking never ever do that again. Unless he does it now. Because he's kind of fat. It'd be pretty funny if he tried to go emo again.
You have to wear like a hairpiece or some shit.
So let's get back to where you started music.
So longest tangent ever.
That's podcasting, dude. That's what makes podcasts great. Yeah. So getting back to, so you weren't into playing piano, partly because it was forced on you, partly because of the style they were teaching you and shoving down your throat. Did you know you liked music, though? Or were you put off to music altogether?
Yeah, no, I liked music. Like, my mom always tells me stories how I would fucking sing, like, everything that was on the radio, even as, like, a baby and shit. Like, I'd be humming along to it, even though I couldn't talk. Like...
So they knew before you knew.
Yeah. But, yeah, it was really just... yeah, I just didn't have any interest in playing fucking Mary Had a Little Lamb, I think was really all there was to it. And then, like... So... Yeah, I took piano lessons. I actually stuck with that for like 5 years or so before I finally just couldn't take it anymore, and my mom let me quit. And then, like, in middle school, I started playing the clarinet in band. And at my school, the clarinet was a girl instrument. And I didn't know, because I had kind of an interesting school.
Like on purpose or by default? Like, did the school only allow girls?
No.
Only chicks happened to do it.
Yeah, only like it was. I grew up in a fucking small town, like super conservative type shit, and like I actually went to like a Christian parochial school for elementary school.
Okay.
And in my 5th grade class, which is when we started playing instruments for band, there was only 2 people, me and one other kid. And he played the saxophone, and I played the clarinet because fucking Squidward played it on SpongeBob. And I
shit.
Yeah, and I thought it was funny. So
that
I was like,
and
so yeah, I played the clarinet in 5th grade. Went to 6th grade. Went to public school in 6th grade, and then little did I know, I was the only boy in the entire fucking school who played clarinet there.
No shit.
Yeah, and yeah, everybody was like, "Oh, you're fucking gay! Like you're playing clarinet." and so I like. And I was, like, pretty bad at it, too. Like, I mean, I didn't really care about band music in school either. And so, like, I stuck with that for about a year, and then I quit. But I did, like, start singing in the choir, though. And I liked choir a lot more than band. So that's where I, like, really started to learn how to sing. And then, fucking Guitar Hero came out when I was in 8th grade.
Nice.
And
see, I fucking said this on this podcast 1,000 times, dude. I said I'm 100% certain that there is an entire generation of kids that play guitar solely because of Guitar Hero. Because that game was so fucking... So check this out. I quit playing guitar for a long time because I started off at guitar at like 12 years old.
Yeah.
Did it till I was like 18, 19, 20 years old. But I was in metal bands, and I was a pretty decent frontman / screamer.
Yeah.
So, and there was other guys who were as good, if not better than me at guitar. So after sitting down with some peers, we kind of came to the conclusion it would just be smarter and wiser. Because I wasn't holding the band back, but it was like, if I let go of this instrument, I was afraid to not be James Hetfield. I needed that shield, that guitar in front of me to look cool, right? And they were like, dude, you're so charismatic and you have so much energy. Set the fucking guitar down. You can find somebody as good as you or better, and you will be a way better frontman.
Yeah.
And it took a year.
Yep.
But they were right, and I focused all that time and energy that I used to do into riffing into just being better at this one thing, singing and being a frontman. And technically they were correct that it worked, right? The bands were more successful, all that. But one of the bands had broken up, and I was delivering pizzas at Papa John's. And on my break, I had a big, crazy break, like 2 hours. And I would go to Northtown Mall in fucking Blaine, Minnesota, and I would go to Best Buy. I'd get my smoothie from Jamba Juice, and I'd go to Best Buy, and I'd fucking fuck around on Guitar Hero.
Nice.
And I got really fucking good at Guitar Hero.
Yep.
So much to the point where, like, I would have a tiny little crowd, like 6, 7, 8, 9 people. Sometimes it would be bigger than that, but it was usually between like 6 and 12 people, right?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, wow, you're really good at that. And then somebody one day went, you ever thought about playing guitar? And I was like, yeah, I play guitar. And they were like, oh, that's why you're so good. And then I started playing a song. I don't remember what song it was. It was either Mother by Danzig or it was In Living Color. It was some song that I already had learned how to play very well on real guitar, and I couldn't fucking play it in Guitar Hero. And I went and I got pissed. And I was like, this song is easier to play on real guitar than it is in this fucking song or in this game. And then I was sitting at home playing with somebody else like a week later. We were like doing the duel thing back and forth. And we were like putting a lot of time and energy into like beating the game, right? And literally I looked at them because I was frustrated. Same song. I can't remember what song it was. Same song. Super frustrated. And I went, I don't understand why I'm doing this anymore. I could just go back to playing real guitar. With the amount of time I'm putting into this video game, I could just go back to real guitar.
Right.
And then Rocksmith came out.
Yeah.
Which was you plugged in a real guitar and you played along with it. And I was like, sold. And then I've been playing real guitar again ever since. And it's been, dude, I've been playing real guitar again for fucking 15 years or something like that. But I've been convinced that game is responsible for creating new guitar players.
Oh,
maybe more than actual bands for that generation.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It was my main inspiration for picking up the real guitar. Was
but
that
you were
game.
already into music. So.
Well, well, no. The thing is, like, that game actually is what really gave me a love for rock music. Like I was into.
Were you really good at that game?
I was. I could like get 100% on expert and shit like that.
Cool.
So, like, yeah, and like, but yeah, before that game, like I'd listen to some like punk rock. Like I was pretty into Green Day in middle school, and then there's this other fucking band called Unwritten Law. Have you ever heard of them?
No.
They're like, I don't know how I got turned on to those guys, but like, yeah, they haven't done like anything since like the early 2000s, but they had like a couple singles at the time that I was like into, like, but yeah, like pop punk and that kind of shit I was sort of into back then, but I never listened to any like metal or anything until Guitar Hero.
Really?
And then like just like all the highlights from, you know, all the different decades of rock and metal were on that game, and then like, yeah, I just fell in love with it.
Was there a specific song that did it for you, or was it a genre of music, or was it just the entirety of the whole experience of playing Guitar Hero, or was there a moment?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there was like if there was like a specific song that really clicked for me, but also like that game was a great way of discovering new bands too, because like nobody had heard of Avenged Sevenfold before Guitar Hero 2. They had
nobody your age.
Yeah, right. Like
we were my age group, and I'm only a few years older than you, but we were just waiting for them to show up on the game.
Yeah, right.
No, for real. And same thing when All That Remains showed up. It was like finally, like when 6 showed up on that.
Yeah.
All That Remains. It was like I know this song. And that was one of those. That was the song. That was the song where it was like, I know how to play this on real guitar.
Right.
And no, it wasn't. No. That's a lie. That's lie.
Not, actually.
That's the song. That
song is actually pretty hard on real guitar.
That's one of those. That's one of those songs though that like I was playing so well where I was like, dude, I think I want to play real guitar again. It was like one of the seeds, but no, my group, because I'm again just a few years older than you, but it's amazing how 6-7 years age difference will completely change your perception and experience in the same exact pop culture moment, which is so like when Avenged Sevenfold came on, it was like, oh yeah, finally, fucking now we get some real shredders. And then same thing, I think Metallica took a while to get on there. There's a bunch of shit, but I remember hearing stories of kids your age discovering Carry On My Wayward Son, and that song recharting for the first time in 30 years, not because of a movie, because that's usually what would happen is a movie would come out and that song would chart again. This was because of this fucking video game. And like kids were calling in and being like, I want to hear Carry On My Wayward Son by Kansas. And people are like, how does this 10-year-old know this fucking song, dude? It was a pop culture phenomenon. It blew people's minds. So that's why I had to ask if it was a song or a moment, but it wasn't. It was kind of the whole experience of like, so was it the like, because I experienced a bunch of different feelings, right? So you experience the gratification of practicing this fake instrument, this plastic guitar, and then achieving something through a reward system, right? It's gamified.
Yeah.
So there's all the casino fucking slot machine bells and whistles happening on the screen to keep you fucking like all those endorphins pumping.
Right.
But at the same time, there is this like incredible feeling of like playing along with music and feeling like and that's what that game did better than anything else. It genuinely made you feel like you were a part of this band.
Yeah.
Like you were actually, and that's where Rock Band came from. Right, there was Rock Band and then eventually Rocksmith, which is what I was talking about earlier. But Rock Band, it was like, oh, we got a drum set.
Yeah,
so now four of you can sit here.
Yeah, I got into. I was good at the drums on that too, which is actually not that different from playing real drums too. Like you can actually build like your drummer coordination.
Oh yeah,
on that game.
You
like,
can, dude. You can get if you air drum properly, like on your steering wheel. And you know this is my snare, this is my hi-hat, these are my toms. Yep. You can learn entire songs without ever touching a drum set.
Right. Yep.
Air drumming, doing all that dumb shit is what gave me the confidence to start playing drums in my mid fucking 20s.
Yeah.
I was in Dying Euphoria, and I was driving down the road, and I like woke up from a nap, and I was like, I think the ACD was on the, and I was like, man. Or Jet was on the record or something.
Right.
Something was on the radio, and I was just like, if this genre had like metal drums, do you know how badass this music would be? Like, just kick it up a little faster, put some metal drums in here, just a little hardcore breakdown here and there. I was like, this fucking music would be badass.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I think I want to play drums in a rock band. And someone turned around, and they were like, how arrogant are you? And I was like, what are you talking about? And it's like, dude, you're in your mid-20s. You're just going to pick up a new instrument and switch genres? Like, fuck off. 2 years later, I started the Tyrants, and we were badass, dude. And all of those skills were because I had been air drumming. Like, literally. It took me a couple of years to get good, but then all of a sudden, boom, we started a band. And fucking, that band was fucking great, dude. So, you start off piano, clarinet, Guitar Hero.
Yeah, and then, so I think I expressed probably just like nonchalantly to my mom at one point. I was like, oh, maybe, I'm pretty good at this game. Maybe I'd be good at real guitar. And that was all that it took for her to like literally like she didn't even wait till Christmas. Like she bought me an Easter present. She got me a fucking guitar from Sam's Club and a little 10-watt solid state amp.
Now, did you have any constructive hobbies before this? Were you into sports? Were you like a science nerd? Were you in debate class? Did you have anything hobby or constructive going for you?
Pretty much just video games. Like, I mean, I did play sports all the way up through middle school. I played basketball, and then I stopped growing. But yeah,
welcome to being white.
But yeah, yeah, right. But well, when I was in high school, I did drama too. So I was in like all the plays my school did, and so yeah, I was always busy with other shit. And then I've always been a big gamer growing up too. Okay. So those are my kind of two things I always was doing. But then yeah, like I started playing guitar, and yeah, she got me this little starter guitar from Sam's Club. Like it was a Fender Starcaster, like not even a Squire, like even a shittier than a Squire, but and it came with this like instructional DVD that showed you how to play like open chords and stuff. And I was like, oh, it's kind of cool. But then I like kind of lost interest after that. And I was because like I didn't know where to go from that. And I was like,
and it probably sounded like shit and wasn't very easy to play either. So it wasn't very fun. It wasn't very engaging.
So yeah, she got me that, and I kind of like so I played it for a few days after that, and then I sort of just like dropped it, and I was like, this isn't that fun, like, and like I didn't touch it again for probably like 6 months, and then it like occurred to me one day. I was like, what if I just like tried to learn how to play a song that I actually like?
Oh, so the DVD was basically doing the piano lesson thing
Yeah,
for you.
exactly. And so I was like, I remember the first song I ever tried to teach myself was "Sugar We're Going Down" by Fall Out Boy. I don't know why that song, but
probably not the easiest thing to start off with.
Well,
but maybe because you had some Guitar Hero skills. Did those transfer?
Well, I mean that song. I mean it's a pretty easy song, but also that song is in drop D, so I had to learn what drop D was before I tried to learn a standard tuning song.
Sure.
And like, so I learned what drop D is, and then I'm like, okay, here's what and like I just like Google like how to play "Sugar We're Going Down" by Fall Out Boy, and then I find this website, Ultimate Guitar, and like, oh, there's this thing called tabs. Everyone's just fucking uploading them on the internet. You can just learn how to play the song. Like,
did somebody teach you how to read tabs?
No, well, I mean it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just like the number of the, that's on the tab is the fret that you're on, and then there's 6 lines, one for each string. Like it's, and like I guess for people that don't have a good like sense of rhythm, maybe they're confused by it. But like that never like was a problem for me. So
because that is basically what happens there.
Yeah.
There's 0 rhythm in tabs. It's not music by numbers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's like, I don't know if you've ever like fucked around with anything like Guitar Pro or anything.
Yeah.
But like Guitar Pro is like you write tabs on there, but it's like a hybrid kind of tab and music notation thing where it's also got rest notes and eighth notes and quarter notes and stuff. And
dude, the dopest part about that is, and I don't know that it still exists, but it did, is you could go in and you could say, I want to play this song, but I want to play this song in this tuning, and you could pick it you could do 2 things. You could have it drop it.
Yeah.
So like I play in drop C, right?
Yeah.
So I could take this song and drop everything down into drop C, and it would play it a whole step lower plus the bottom string being dropped as well.
Yeah.
Or you could transpose it. So I could play it in the proper key, and it would show me the correct shapes in my tuning.
Yeah.
And that was the shit for me, dude, because then I was playing Van Halen songs, which are in standard E, and I was playing them in drop C. And there was chunks where it was impossible.
Yep.
But for the most part, it was super doable. And I just didn't have to completely retune my guitar or buy a new guitar. And it was so incredible as far as showing me a new way to look at my fretboard and to think about chord progressions or scales. Because these are songs, again, if I'm writing music in drop C and I only have one guitar at the time, I can't go up to standard E to go practice a bunch of Metallica or to play this other shit. And you can't play along with the record. You could try to capo it. That never works right. There's just a bunch of shit that goes on there. And all you're really doing is just moving your understanding up or down. But when you transpose something from standard E into drop C and you're playing along to the record, you get a completely different understanding of the fretboard.
Yeah.
I think it's very, very advantageous for guitar players. Not just learning new guitar players, not just new guitar players who are learning, but even experienced guitar players who are looking to like expand their chord set.
Right.
Whatever, man. Covers are a great way to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's how I built all my skill, was just learning other people's songs. And like with the modern technology people have now, like it's even so much better now than it was when I was learning, cuz like I don't know if you fucked around with like Neural DSP plugins or anything. So basically it's a whole amp. All you need to do whatever. Like you buy the Gojira plugin, you can literally play like any metal song. Like it's got you all covered, all the sounds you would need for that, and they have you can literally just transpose your guitar in there. Like I'm in drop C. I want to play in drop D. Transpose me up 2 semitones.
Yep.
Boom. Like, and it's not like
That's
same.
exactly what I'm talking about.
It's not like the same perfect quality of sound, but you don't have to tune your guitar, and it's like a game changer for when you're just trying to mess around and learn stuff.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
you're saying you can do it on your guitar.
Yeah. Well, like you don't
That's
have to do anything with your guitar. Yeah, you just click a button.
That's
on,
what I'm
on
saying.
The, on
so
the
you
app.
plug in
Yeah.
your guitar,
Yeah.
and the app will do the same thing for you, but the other way.
Yeah.
So instead of me changing the tabs and all that,
yeah.
it just brings
yeah.
my
You don't
guitar
have to. You don't have to play
that.
anything different.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's just changing the sound. Yeah.
That's so it's
yeah.
wow. I mean, technically, I guess you could do that with a pedal. They do that. That is a thing in pedals.
Yeah. They have drop. They've had drop pedals for a while. But it's like
and octavers, and you can do things a semitone.
But it's
on
like
a lot of things, but it never sounds right.
Yeah, but now you can just buy this. Like if you're like a beginner guitar player just looking to get your feet wet, you can buy this plugin for when it's on sale, like $60, and you have everything you need to learn. You know, to go from a beginner to advanced guitar player, like you know, so it's crazy.
What was the moment where you decided not only do I like playing guitar, but I want to write songs and join a band, or join a band and then maybe you started like what?
Yeah,
how
so
did that? Did you start writing songs first, or did you join a band first, and then like when did you? Because you basically are the main guitar writer in the Failsafe. I know Jesse does come up with a lot of riffs. I've talked to him quite a bit about this, but you're the main guy.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of a big collaborative process in the band, and it's a bit different now that we've got producers working on our newer stuff.
Oh, that's right, because Chad also plays a little guitar.
Yeah, Chad. Yeah, so
do all of you guys write a little riffage from time to time?
Yeah. So anyway, I can get into that in a bit, but yeah, just going through my history of being in bands. So I actually joined my first band on guitar probably just like a couple years, like maybe 1 year, I think, after I started playing. I joined a Christian band that played services at my church that I went to back in the day.
Sure.
So it was like basically we would play every Wednesday for the confirmation kids, basically. And yeah, that
was
was
experience.
Yeah, it was a good experience playing with a band and stuff, and like you learn about what sort of stuff is appropriate for different contexts and stuff. Like
you can't shred 24/7.
Yeah, I got frowned upon when I brought in my Boss metalcore pedal, and like I'm like, what if I do this chug part here? Like
you learn to humble yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
No, you're right though. That's super important for musicians to know that many times if you're really going to make a living in this industry, most of the time it's like a job. You have a boss. You're not the rock star, you're not the main guy. You don't get to make any calls. You're showing up, you're plugging in, you're doing a fucking job. You're basically punching a clock.
Right.
It's you may not sit in a cubicle, but it's a fucking job. And that's how the majority of the music business works.
Right.
Like 1%, I don't know what the actual number is, but I'm going to just say it's 1% of us are like the band that makes enough money to do shit.
Yeah.
To hire other people to do shit, you know? So if you're one of those people, just count your blessings because you guys are rare.
Yeah. I mean,
rare, however you want to phrase it.
Like we're still kind of at the point where a lot of it's out of pocket still, but you know, we're still working at it.
But you're doing it though, and that's the point I'm trying to make is you are the main guys. Like you're not none of you are in a corporate band. Meaning Jesse didn't get a record deal, and he's the guy, and you all got hired. That's what I'm trying to say.
Exactly.
But a lot of those church bands are closer to that. And most of us, if you're going to make a solid living in the music industry, you're going to be that. You're going to be like a jobber. That's where that term comes from. You're a jobber.
Yep.
Like you work, I get paid. I'm not in the band. You know what I mean? Like I'm not in the record, or I'm not on the back of the record in the credits if you're looking at old school CD days. So I think those church moments, I think those are really good moments for guys because, like you said, I bring in my metal zone pedal and you get frowned upon and you go, oh, wait, I don't get to make all the calls. Like it's like not everybody's Eddie Van Halen. And even even if you are Eddie Van Halen, like if Eddie Van Halen's playing a church band, they're telling him to turn off the delay and the distortion and just play the chords the way it's written.
Yep.
That's really important. So what was your second thing you got into?
Yeah, so I did that, and then I was in college after that, and I started a cover band in college. We were called Bona Vista. Like, I don't know what. Oh yeah,
That's
it was
a cool name.
Yeah, it was my roommate, and he was the singer in the band. It was the street he grew up on was like Bona Vista Boulevard or something. So
that's a cool name.
That. Yeah,
you could have even just called it Bona Vista Boulevard.
We did like 90s and 2000s alternative rock covers. Like we did like fucking Weezer and Blink-182 and stuff like that.
Sure.
It's kind of all over the place. But yeah, it was a lot of fun doing that. And I remember we would practice I went to Gustavus for college, and there was a jazz band room that had a drum kit set up at all times. So we would go and sneak in there and practice like late at night, like after 9 o'clock, and just so we could use the drum kit. And then, like, one time we tried practicing, like, during the day. And, like, we're like, turned up really loud, and the drummer's just pounding into the drums. And all of a sudden, one of the professors just bursts into the room. He's like, turn that shit down. Fucking, you guys are way too loud. Like, we're trying to have a test here. Like,
not your music professor?
No. Well, I was, like, when I was in college, I didn't do it really much music stuff other than choir, I guess, for not even the whole time I was there. Like, yeah.
The closest thing I have is I took a music class in high school.
Yeah.
And I went to 2 different high schools. One of them was a normal public high school, and I took a music class in there. It was guitar, but they had a drum set up in this other room, and they had an amp, and, like, we had a couple pedals. So I was like, we all played guitar, but I was the only one who could even fake playing drums.
Yeah.
And somebody started playing Nirvana Nevermind. So I was like, I think I can play the drums for this. Again, the air drumming thing, right?
Yeah.
And we were in there jamming, and I thought we were kind of vibing. We were also playing a little Metallica and Sandman and just whatever we knew in high school at the time. And fucking the music teacher comes bursting in the door, and he goes, "You're not fucking playing it right." And I go, "I'm playing it perfectly," right? And he goes, "No, you're fucking not. Get up." And he kicks me off the drum set, and the guitar teacher schools me. And obviously I didn't know how to play drums, but he plays the Nirvana song perfectly. He plays Enter Sandman perfectly. This is my guitar teacher. And then he just like sets the drumsticks down, and he goes, "If you're going to be loud and interrupt the class, do it correctly," and just shut the door and left, dude. And I was like, man, this guy's awesome.
That's badass.
This is at a public high school in Minneapolis, which is like mostly black kids. There's very few people that even give a fuck about guitar. Like, oh man, it was awesome.
Nice.
If you're gonna be loud, fucking do it right. And he was swearing. Like, I remember him swearing, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, I did that cover band in college, and then graduated college, moved to the Twin Cities here, and then I fucking met Chad, who's the drummer in the Failsafe, off a fucking Craigslist ad.
I miss those days when bands were formed on Craigslist.
Yeah,
that used to be a legit thing.
Yeah, I was like just sitting in my apartment bored one day. I was like, I need to start playing music. Like, all I do is work and play video games, and like, so I just went on Craigslist, and then there's like looking for a guitar player. For
don't be unfair to yourself.
band.
You don't just work and play video games. You work, you play video games, and you fucking shred.
Yeah,
dude.
I guess I was too. Yeah, but so yeah, fucking Chad had this band called the X Project back in the day, and yeah, like I tried out for his band, and they liked what I was doing, so they asked me to join. And
So did Chad have as many cymbals back then as he does now?
he had no cymbals actually because he played bass. Yeah.
So when did he develop such an
Yeah.
an affection for brass?
Yeah. Well, he's been downsizing. Actually.
I know.
But,
Apparently,
yeah.
I'm responsible for this. Did Jesse tell you about this, or have you had a whole conversation about this as a band?
Oh, we've had many conversations about it,
But specifically about. So Jesse texted me one day, and he goes, I don't know what you said, but it fucking worked. And I go, what? And he goes, he's finally getting rid of cymbals. So I don't remember what it was because I did not know this was a thing in your band, right? But I was like, bro, that's a lot of cymbals. We were backstage at some venue. I'd finally come seen you guys play live because I'd been a fan of you guys for a while, but the timing wasn't right, and the pandemic shit was a thing still. And I'm backstage, and I'm drunk, right? So this is a problem most of the time. Like, when I hit a home run drunk, it's basically a grand slam, dude, for the World Series.
Yeah.
Because they're so few and far between, right? When I hit home runs, I'm usually 100% sober, or maybe got a beer or two in me so I get the confidence to say something a little risky. But usually it's sober. But basically, I'm backstage with him, and I was like, you don't need all them cymbals, right? And he was like, yeah, I do. I hit every single one of them. And I was like,
Yep.
and I was like, live you don't. And he was like, yes, I do. I hit every single one of these cymbals live. And I was like, but you don't fucking need to. And he goes, I mean, and I don't remember what he replied with because I don't remember what I replied with, but I remember I had one more line. And I fucking just turned around and walked out, and then I remember leaving, and I remember going, that was probably not the smartest way to do that. And then the next morning, I got a text message from Jesse, and he goes, I don't know what you said, but it fucking worked, dude. He's been downsizing ever since, dude. Oh,
All you need right there.
I mean, that's a different level.
Oh,
dude.
man. Have you heard?
This is a different level. Can the crowd see this too? The YouTubers, the viewers, they can see this too. I actually bought this bass. So he has a Joe Dart bass. The bass player, I have that bass right over there in the other room. You can't see it. It's hidden behind my bass rig. But it's not that exact bass, but it's basically that bass. It actually might be that exact bass. That looks super. He might have switched the pickup. I think he switched the pickup. But it's basically, and that's Corey Wong.
Oh, yeah, that guy fucking.
So Corey Wong,
awesome.
we actually just hired his video guy. So the guy who did all Corey Wong's video work for years, that's actually going to be our new video guy for the Montoya machine.
Awesome.
Super excited. Yeah, that is the same bass. He just put tape over the pickup. That's what it is. Those pickups are very hot. That's how you get away with having one fucking pickup. That dude's a badass. But yeah. So you've known Chad for a long time.
Yeah.
So when he started playing drums, did he immediately go over the top with cymbals, or was that like something that grew?
So I don't know exactly where the cymbals obsession came from, but
it's my favorite thing about your band is your own inside running joke that is now creeping out into your fandom. Like,
yeah.
Like,
well, no, we
I
got
think
memes about it and shit. Like,
dude,
we have
so
this
good,
meme where
it's
Chaz
so
just
great.
like has a smiling face and there's just like symbols hovering around his
everywhere,
head.
dude.
Like, but
you need to have one where he's in the car and you replace everything in the car with a different symbol. So, because that's what drummers do. They're always playing air drums.
Shit, we should film a reel doing that. Just like put a bunch of symbols in his car. And, like,
that'd be great content for you guys because you do those campy videos, dude. You do those cute, like family-friendly videos. I can't do that. Rocco, you're fine. You can pet him. He's just not supposed to be down here. Rocco, get out of here. The problem is he pees on stuff when he comes down here, and I got equipment and gear down here. The two boy dogs, they battle.
Yeah.
For alpha. One's the dad and one's the son.
Oh,
and the son is the alpha, but the dad's not willing to give up.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Man, this is my spot." And then the kid's like, "No, it's not." and then I'm standing there going, "That's my fucking guitar cab. It doesn't belong to either one of you. Yoshi, get out of here." They're all down here. How did they get down here? Get out of here. Yoshi, will you kick him physically? hard. I'm just kidding.
I don't know if that would.
No, you don't.
Might get us demonetized.
You don't have to. No. But if you even just move your foot towards them, they get it. It's more of the zhuzh.
The threat.
It's more of the zhuzh, the nudge.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Murph, quit indulging him. Get him out of here. He's gonna piss on something. Yoshi, get out of here. God damn it. I love these dogs, but I can't let them be down here. Peanut can be down here. She's sitting right here. But all the boy dogs pee. They mark territory as horrible.
Yeah.
Can't let them in the studio.
Yep. The problem with cats, too. Yeah, we got 2 cats, and fucking, you got to get them fixed.
Are the male cats worse than the females when it comes to that kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, way worse. If you don't get them fixed, they'll just piss everywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Cats stink, too, with that urine, with that ammonia. Can't have them not peeing in the litter box.
Yeah. It's not good. Yep. Anyway, so, yeah.
Chad, we're talking about Chad. I want to just stay on this Chad thing for a while, man, because this guy is super funny to me. I love this dude.
Dude, he's a fucking legend, man.
He does a lot of your recording, right?
Yeah.
He's like your engineer, would you call it?
Yeah.
Or your demo producer. How would you refer to him now?
Yeah, like he's been like kind of the main engineer and producer throughout the history of the band. Like right now, we're currently working on new material with a producer named Dusty Bowles, and we recorded some.
Can you say that one more time slowly? I want to make sure I didn't misunderstand you.
Dusty Bowles.
Okay, yeah. I definitely misunderstood you. Okay.
Yeah. But
sounded like a wrestling character at first.
Yeah, so he's based out of Denver, and Jesse was just here for Thanksgiving, and we all got together at Chad's house just to track vocals for some of the new songs we're working on. And so yeah, Chad's still like doing a lot of the tracking, and he still editing the vocals and stuff to send off to Dusty to put everything together.
We talk about that here quite a bit, the difference between producing and engineering.
Yeah.
And I think most local bands don't know the difference. Like when you're in the music scene, right? That's everything's amateur, nobody gets paid. That's the music scene, right?
Yeah.
It's all support local music. That's
right.
Adorable, and I love it, and we need more of it, actually. But when you have a music industry like a Nashville or an LA or New York, you don't really worry about supporting local New York music. It's not really a thing because it's an industry, right? Because people make money. Like, you can just never leave New York and make a complete-ass living being a fucking bass player.
Right.
Like, that's why these cities are the shit for this stuff. There's more talent here, though, right? Especially per capita. Like, I know this. I think, in fact, not only do I know this to be true, this is what I will say, the only town who can beat us per capita is Nashville. It's the only place in this country that's actually a better music town when it comes to this. I can find an elite level guitar player in this town by throwing a rock in any direction, and I'm probably going to hit somebody. Like, that's how, this town is just littered with insanely talented musicians.
Yeah.
It's not true in the rest of the country. And we get very spoiled here. But we don't have a great organization in how we all kind of come together on that.
Yeah, for sure.
And one of many of those talking points and examples is a lot of guys here don't even know the difference between an engineer and a producer.
Right.
And a lot of guys call themselves producers and they're just engineers. Yep. They hook up a mic, they hit record, they fucking mix it a little bit, and they call that a record. And I'm like, dude, you just recorded a demo. Like, we didn't produce a record at all. That's not exactly. That's not how this works.
Yep.
And I don't want to get too far into that, but what I'm getting at is at some point in time, whether you are a real producer or not, if you're going to record your own band, you have to act as producer, right? Like, you have to take on that role and do the best job you possibly can.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about whether you're good at it or whether you're bad at it or whether you know what you're doing. That's irrelevant. My point is whether you're good or bad, Chad took on that role at the beginning of your band. But as you guys have expanded and gotten bigger and better and more successful, you guys have started to work with, quote unquote, legitimate real producers, paid professionals. That's what they do, is to produce records.
Yep.
And so in that, what you're kind of saying is Chad is still playing a role within that, So he's still tracking stuff and mixing, and he's a huge part of that.
Yep.
But without disparaging Chad, because I don't want to say, I got too much respect for Chad to say anything negative about him, and I think your records sound great. I think everything Chad has done is phenomenal. Right?
Yeah.
So let's not imply Chad hasn't been doing anything bad or poorly or amateur. That's not what I want to imply. I'm not setting that as the foundation. But I do want to ask you, since you've been working with these quote-unquote legitimate real producers, paid professionals, what are some of the biggest differences that you've noticed and experienced that you could use it as example to give as advice for younger, less experienced bands, as some of the differences and some of the benefits to hiring a real pro instead of just trying your best and doing it yourself? Because I think there's a huge difference, and I've spoken for hours about this and the differences.
Yep.
But you have experienced the not just the difference, but a slow journey to the point where Chad's not even out of the picture. He's still heavily involved.
Yeah.
But while I go piss, talk about some of the benefits, specifically in a form of like advice for younger musicians as to like what are the benefits and differences you've experienced and maybe why they should hire somebody or seek outside help instead of trying to do everything themselves for as cheap as they possibly can. Like what are the benefits?
Yeah, for sure.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of benefits that come with hiring outside help on as far as music production and writing. Like basically these guys, they do this shit for a living and they have it down to a science to an extent. You'll come in and they'll and there's like different ways that you can sort of approach it with a producer. Like a lot of bands will actually just come in and write the shit right from the ground up with the producer without even bringing in any of their original ideas and stuff. So there's like a bunch of different ways you can approach it. But even if you come in to the producer like, hey, we got this riff or we got this chorus for this song, like they're going to hear that and they're going to be able to immediately pick out whether it has potential or not, and they're going to know exactly how to tweak it to make the best song out of that material. They also are going to like, it's going to be different depending on like how much you're willing to spend or how much experience the guy is you're working with. But like a lot of times you'll go in and these guys will know like what is the cutting edge stuff that you need to have in your song to basically take your music to the next level and kind of put yourself on the playing field of other like top artists that are, really relevant in the scene. So yeah.
Now, do you mean that in regards to, hey, you're missing something? Here's how you fill that? Or are you saying it in regards to like, this is your sound, this is what you're trying to achieve, here's how we get there because here's how other bands like you do it?
Yeah, I mean, it really kind of just depends on what you want out of it, I guess. Like, so with we worked with 3 different like professional producers or groups of producers, and they all kind of have their own separate approach. So like for our song Ghost of You, we worked with a guy named Sahaj Tikatan. He's the lead singer of the band Ra. I don't know if you know those guys or not.
I've heard of the band.
But he's also like produced like some really big bands like Breaking Benjamin and Starset and stuff like that. So he's got the credentials. But his sort of like approach when we worked with him was we brought in
what was his name?
Sahaj Tikatan.
How do you spell that?
So it's SAHAJ TICOTIN.
Yeah, that's yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's a name.
Yeah.
So we had a song that we basically thought was finished on our end. Like we'd had everything recorded and like all the vocals done on it and stuff, and like even Chad had mixed it, and we brought it in, and basically like he said like, yeah, we can work with the song, but we're gonna need to like change quite a bit of it, like, and that was so like that was like kind of the moment I learned like more how to write better guitar, you know, to serve the song at that point. Because I remember in the chorus of that song, I'd had like this really technical kind of show-offy riff, and he literally was like, "This would be a good riff if you just deleted every other note."
Huh.
It slowed it down, like.
Sure.
So, and that's what he did, and then it turned out to be the main riff of that song, and
So it was just too busy.
yeah.
So he told you to dumb it down. That's the phrasing I would use for myself. Like, this riff is too complicated. We need a dumber version of it. So when I say dumb, I mean simple. I mean truncated. You know, get it to its core foundation. Like I have a riff.
Yep.
I have a riff that is literally 4 notes. It seems like it's 3 notes, but I bounce from one note to the open, and then the next note to the open, to the other note to the open.
Yeah.
But it's an entire 4-bar progression to get through all 3 of those sub notes, right? Or main notes. The sub note would be the root note that I'm using, dong 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 dong, in the background. I'll play a demo for you later after we wrap this up, but it'll make perfect sense when I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's like, you got to just serve the song and understand there's going to be vocals over this.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
You know, I also use that phrase a lot. Learn how to fuck off.
Right.
Like, you don't, like, what I mean by fuck off is not like do nothing, stop caring. What I mean by fuck off is stop trying to be the star. Like, you can't be the star of every part of every song. Like, some of the rhythm riffs that James plays in Metallica, in those verses, or even in the choruses, are so fucking simple. It's ridiculous.
Right.
But what they are is a truncated, simple, dumbed down version of the banger riff that you think is the main riff of the song.
Yep.
Right? And you can do this from the beginning of their career to the end of their career in different versions, different expressions, but I don't want to call it a formula.
Yeah.
But there's a recipe. I like recipe better than formula because formula is too mathematical, too exact.
Right.
Recipe gives you
freedom to add a little bit of this and that, or
a little
take
extra
away.
jalapeno, you know, a little extra fucking tomato, whatever.
Yeah. So I gotta run to the bathroom real quick too. Be right back.
Go to the bathroom. We're gonna play a video while you're gone. We're gonna play your video. What is this one called? I forgot what it's called. This is your new one, right? Yeah. All right, guys. So this is their new music video. It's called Wolves. Here we go. Did you mute the mics? Will you mute the mics?
Caught up in the night glow, even when the bottle hides behind a promise. And nothing that will stop me, better if you're not here, if I'm being honest. The changing, a heartbeat that breaks the floodgates open. The demon that marks me knows how to pick a poison. All it took was a little push. Now I'm shot like a pistol. Rip the cord, time and death. 11th hour, seeing red. Don't go wasting a trigger. Boom, too far gone for a bullet. Half a man, twice the mess. Running where the walls again. Running where the walls again. Wake up in the sunrise, see a dirty bloodline, took another victim. If I could, I would surrender, but I can't remember how to spot the symptom. floodgates open. The demon that marks me knows how to pick a poison. Something inside me is looking for a poison. The demon that marks me knows how to pick a poison. All it took was a little push. Now I'm shot like a pistol. Rip the cord, time of death. Rapid hour, seeing red. Don't go wasting a trigger. Pull too far, come for a bullet. Half a man, twice the mass. Running with the walls again. Running with the walls again.
That sounded like it was it. I killed it. That way, if we go back to media, we don't re-trigger that same video. I watched that video because we can't see that video in the studio, which is weird. We should figure out a different way to do that. Murph? What's that? No, I know, but it's something I didn't think of beforehand. Because, like, I could see that video when I was in the producer chair and I loaded it up and did everything. But I didn't think far enough ahead to make sure it could be seen in the studio here. That's a great video, dude. You guys are really doing a great job of, like, just doing it the right way, man, without
Thanks,
making
man.
a whole rant.
Yeah.
I've made this rant 1,000 times. I'm a huge fan of your band. I've had Jesse on. Like, I've played your music and your videos when you guys haven't been on the podcast. You guys are doing it the right way, and I just appreciate it. You know, as not only a fan of your band, that you guys, and this is what matters, is that you guys are putting in the effort to do it the right way. So when people come across your band, they never feel like you're not trying to give them the best version of your product.
Right.
And as a fan of your band, and as a fan of you guys as people, and as a fan or a supporter of this place, Minneapolis, St. Paul, I just really appreciate that you guys are doing it the right way. Because there are so many bands that aren't doing it the right way.
Yeah.
And then they get, like, smug and entitled and bitter, and they break up, and then they bitch till they're 40 years old like me, and they're like, we could have, but... And it was like, no, you never... Like... I can genuinely say, as somebody who's in your peripheral,
Yeah.
nobody's going to be able to look at your band and being like, they're not trying hard enough here.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you guys don't, quote-unquote, make it, if you don't achieve the level of success that you don't think you deserve, then it's simply because you haven't reached enough people.
Yeah.
It's that simple with your band, because you guys are good enough. Your songs are good enough. Your performances are good enough. Everything about your band, your production, the videos, everything.
Right.
You're doing everything enough the right way to where I'm convinced that what I say is 1 in 333 people, right? Which now it's actually closer to 100 350 people, which means we have 350 people in America. 350 million people in America.
Yeah.
And if you were to sell 1 million records before the internet, you would be the biggest thing since sliced bread. That's a platinum fucking record.
Yep.
You're huge if you sell 1 million records, okay? So that means you need 1 out of 350 people in this country to buy your record. I believe your band is more than capable of doing that. So your only goal now, because you're doing everything the right way,
Yeah.
your only goal is to get in front of 350 new people every fucking moment possible.
Yeah.
Which back in the day, those are concerts. Those are festivals. Now
Right.
you have the internet. And now you're not trying to sell 1 million records. You're trying to get a different quantifiable number of
Yep.
other things, which I still haven't been able to, like, nail that down. But
Yeah.
But,
Yep.
like, you're going to be able to look back on this, and if you didn't get to the level of success that you think you deserve with this band, you will be able to confidently say it's not because we didn't.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Maybe we didn't hire and they didn't, but you guys are doing everything within your power to do this at a good level, at a high level.
Yeah.
And I'm super proud of you guys as peers, as friends, as like fellow musicians, dude. Like, I love you guys, man. I think I'm a huge fan of you guys, dude. I think the video's dope. I think the song's dope, dude. I think everything you guys are doing is dope, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Really appreciate it. Yeah, we're definitely like pulling out all the stops. You know, this is like, you know, we definitely have had that like conversation internally where it's like, if this doesn't work out, it's not that because we didn't fucking try as hard as we possibly could. Like,
and it's not because you're not good.
Yeah.
That's what I really want to say. It's not because you're not good. It's not because your songs aren't good.
Yeah.
It's not because people don't like you. It's because you haven't found the 1 in 350 yet. For you guys, it's a yet.
Yep.
This isn't true for every band. There's so many other bands that have so much to work on. For you guys, it's a yet. We haven't yet. And I just want you guys to keep that and brainwash yourselves with that.
Yeah.
Yet. Just that should be like almost the name of your next fucking album. Yet. Because seriously, that's how much I want you guys to brainwash yourselves with that phrase. Yet. If you're unhappy, it's because it hasn't happened yet. Because if you just keep doing what you're fucking doing, it's gonna happen. I really believe that. Because there's punk rock bands out there, dude, that fucking crush.
Yeah.
And they're making perfectly good livings, and nobody knows who the fuck they are. But they're big in their scene.
Yep.
And they can fucking draw, and they make fucking money, dude. It can be done in any genre of music.
Yep.
Including death metal, which I was just talking to Eric. I had Eric Kais from Reaping Asmodea on last week, and we were talking about that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's
it's the hardest genre to do it in, but it absolutely can be done. And there's multiple times that those guys came back from tour with money in their pocket, which is super rare.
Yeah.
But if you run it like a business, a profitable business, and that gets such a dirty word sometimes nowadays too, but I don't think guys understand what I mean by that. Is what I'm saying is LLC it and write off all your expenses.
Yep.
It lowers your taxable income from your day job, which means you pay less taxes to the federal government just because you do something you love doing.
Yeah.
Do it the right way. You know, there's 1,000 versions of that. And I'm really, really happy for you guys, man. And I think this is culminated temporarily. I think you guys will have new peaks. But this recent tour you guys went on. So you got to go on tour with Drowning Pool. Yeah. And it was cool because it wasn't a bullshit tour. It wasn't one of those deals that I did, which is, and I still am under NDA, so I can't name names, but like, I was a jobber, so I got to play drums for a lot of those like weird up and coming like rock, pop, country acts. They were all blonde chick lead singers, not literally, but they were basically all this like formula.
Yeah.
And I would fill in for her band on a leg of a tour. So that tour would come through the Midwest, and I'd do Des Moines, Shakopee, Minneapolis, fucking, what's that town in Wisconsin? Oh, I always forget that name of that town. Oh, my God, because I always want to say Milltown because that's where I played with all those other acts, but it wasn't Milltown.
Like Western Wisconsin?
Like
Eau Claire?
No, it's not Eau Claire. I'm going to have to look at a map. Don't pull this up. It's a waste of time. Doesn't matter. And it would like, I would never go farther than like Madison or Milwaukee.
Oh, okay.
Like, because even Chicago always got jumped on with the other leg of the tour.
Yeah.
It would go Chicago into the next East Coast upper, like they'd go up from Chicago. They'd go around the Great Lakes on the bottom side. You didn't get that. You guys got a real bona fide, what was it, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Yeah, about 2.5 weeks.
That's fucking super cool. And we don't have to get into how this happened because, you know, not everybody deserves all the information, right? Like, you got to pay your dues before you get all the fucking cards revealed to you, basically, you know? And maybe we'll save some things like this for the Patreon conversations in the future when the podcast continues to grow. But right now we'll just leave it at you got an opportunity. Doesn't matter how. You got an opportunity, but you were in a position to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Meaning you guys had a machine that was up and running, a vehicle that was up and running, both literally and metaphorically.
Yeah.
Right? The band is the vehicle, but you also had literally a solid transportation situation.
We did.
And you were able to go on tour because these are simple things that nobody thinks about. Oh, we got invited on tour. Oh, we can't. We have jobs. And this guy only has 7 days of vacation, which he has already used 4 of because he got married earlier this year.
Yeah.
Band can't go. Or, we all have remote jobs, but nobody has a van or a trailer or any of the logistics ready, and we would have to say yes today and be ready to go by next Friday. So you have to be in a position to take advantage of these opportunities when they come up. And then when they do, they can be, if they're not career-changing, if they're not, moment-defining, they're just great fucking experiences and memories. Right. So your latest culmination of that was this opportunity you guys got to open for Drowning Pool. So take us through that. What was that like for you as your first big-time legitimate tour on the road for real?
Yeah.
Opening up for a legit national act. Even if it's not Metallica, it's still a legit national act.
Yeah, it was, it definitely had its highs and lows, I will say. Like, I'm not going to get too negative here, but...
Well, let's start with the lows then, so we can go positive.
So, yeah, you mentioned we paid our dues. This is definitely the tour of paying our dues, I would say. As in, like, there was 4 bands on the bill, and most of the venues we played in, I think, were probably only really equipped to handle 3 bands that had, like, full setups with, like, in-ear rigs and stuff like that. Like,
versus how many were on the...
Versus there was 4 bands on the bill. And since we were the opening band of the entire tour, so if there was anything to get screwed over on at each venue, it was us.
Were there local bands that got to open and support these bills in any of these towns?
Yeah, on a couple of towns there were. Yeah. And yeah, how many were there that had local openers? I think there was only 2 or 3 that had local openers.
Really?
Yeah. So it was,
That's interesting because that's a big part of the business is to get the bigger local bands to help fill these venues to make the promoter money so he can afford to, and I'm not trying to get too inside baseball, but it's really important that people understand the business side of this. So like a promoter will buy a show for Drowning Pool and it might cost him $15,000, it might cost him $30,000, it might cost him $3,000. Who the fuck knows? Doesn't matter. But then he has to extrapolate that math and figure out, I need this many bodies at this ticket price in order to do that. And if I'm not confident that I can get that many people to see this band, because it's all about the headliner, the supporting acts rarely bring people, right? Maybe a few. Opening bands, featured acts, they bring basically no one. Theoretically. Not saying literally, theoretically, because that's not always true. Sometimes those opening bands are the band, and they're just coming up. I mean, you hear that in pop a lot, actually. But what'll happen is these promoters have to call up, 1 or 2 or sometimes even 3 local bands that draw really well in that area to fill the venue, so they don't lose their fucking ass by hiring Drowning Pool to come in at your fucking local suburban nightclub or whatever, even if it's 1,500 people or 3,000 people or 10,000 people. Like, that's oftentimes a strategy. So I'm just a little surprised when you say it would only happen in a small handful of those towns. So all of the fuckery defaults to the opening band, which is you guys on this tour, because you guys are the newborns,
right? And like some of the venues we played at were great. It was really kind of a mixed bag in terms of how big we were playing. Like we were playing some places like the Marquee Theater in Phoenix, which is like, it's the size of venue that, like, it's like a 3,000 cap venue, right? Like really big bands can play there and stuff. Like we were playing places like that, but we were also playing places like what the fuck was it called in Eugene, Oregon? It was like Joe Blow's pub or something.
Give us a comparable example here in Minneapolis.
So yeah,
like
this
the
place,
Rock
this
nightclub.
place, no, like almost more like 7th Street entry, like
Okay,
like
okay.
small places,
Like 300-400 people.
Yeah,
Yep,
like
okay.
so yeah, it was a pretty big range of sizes, and then so like a big problem we had was there just wasn't that much room for bands to set up their merch in a lot of venues.
Sure.
So like if there was, if they ran out of space, we were getting put outside or in some dark corner behind a bunch of tables where people couldn't get to us.
And in
So,
case anybody
yeah.
doesn't understand why this matters is because when you're the opening band, selling your merch is kind of how you eat.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah,
I don't mean that metaphorically. I mean that borderline literal. Like you might get paid, if at all, you might get paid just enough from the tour, if you get paid at all, to get gas money to get to the next town. When you're the opening band,
Yeah.
and you're literal like, we need to eat food tonight because I'm getting sick. That comes from selling merch most of the time. Most of
Exactly.
the time.
Yep.
Especially in a buy-on.
Oh yeah.
Which
Yep.
you guys didn't do. And again, I don't want to get into how this happened because I want to learn more about how the new version of the music industry works before we get it deep into talking about it, because there's too many nuances to start speculating and filling in gaps. And it's definitely not being done the way it was 15, 20 years ago when I was in my heyday. So,
Yeah.
but you did not buy on, and I want to make that clear. You did not buy on to that tour. But the real point I'm trying to make is the merch is so critical. And when you're the opening band and you get fucked into a corner or outside or in the lobby or whatever the fuck, however the venue sets it up, like that can literally be the difference, whether that band, and this where I'm not really talking to you right now necessarily, or preaching to you right now, but for anybody who's listening and they happen to see an opening band that they really fucking liked,
Yeah.
even though you went there for this other band, but you're like, that band was fucking dope, just know that band is broke as fuck. And like, you buying a t-shirt for $40, which is way overpriced for the
Yeah.
opening band.
Yep.
But if it's $40, just keep in mind that $40 might be the difference between them eating that night and getting a good night's sleep in their van versus having to get drinks bought for them at the bar by drunk women and going to sleep drunk and getting shitty sleep on that tour, which is a negative feedback loop. But these are real realities that young or new musicians or up-and-coming musicians deal with, because we always used to say young, but now there's 35-year-old guys that are in their first band. So
Yeah.
it's the same thing, and it's way harder when you're 35. You know? And not
Yeah.
saying you're in your first band, but
Oh yeah. But yeah, 100% agree. Like opening bands on tour, like if you enjoy the opening band on some whatever show you're going to see, like please support them, buy some merch. Like it goes a hell of a long way, and like it's helping them a lot more than it is, the headliner if you buy from them. Not that you shouldn't, but
it may
like,
be the
yeah.
only way that any of those bands make good money on tour is by buying their merch.
Yeah. 'Cause
But
a lot
the
of
impact it makes on the opening bands, because again,
yeah,
they may be struggling to make it to the next town.
right.
They didn't lease brand new buses like the headlining band, Like,
yeah. I mean, a lot of the time the headliner is making 5 figures just off the guarantee for that show, just to play
Right.
that show.
right,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah, so
That's exactly what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Yeah. So, but those headlining bands have a huge crew.
Yep.
If they're getting paid 5 figures, they've got a crew.
Yeah.
They've got 5 band members. So don't get it twisted. It's not like because that band is making between 10 and 90 grand. It's not like all of that goes and you made 90 grand that night. Like, I'm not fucking around. Like, there's bands that make 30 grand to play First Avenue, and 15 to 20 of that goes out to the crew.
Yeah.
And then they still pay taxes. They still do all the same fucking shit we have to do. And then there's 5 band members. So each one of them made $2 grand that night. That sounds like a great night.
Yeah.
It sounds like you just made a lot of money.
Yeah.
But these guys have to buy their own equipment, buy their own instruments, so on and so forth. Oh, they have sponsorships. Sponsorships aren't what they used to be, guys. It's just a discount. It's just I get 10% off. It's not what it used to be, right? So same thing. Like, yeah, the hotel's paid for, but the food that night's not paid for. Yeah, they get a stipend, but it's only $12 a day or $100 a day, depending on the tour you're on, right? It doesn't cover everything. It's just not. I just feel like people still to this day do not understand that there's. If you were to multiply the amount of partying and fun,
oh yeah,
but you were multiplying it in terms of how much work you have to put in, what would you say? Because I would say at least 4 times as much work for as much partying or fun.
I don't even know if I can visualize this mentally. Like, well, I will say it's just like, yeah, people have this mental idea of, you know, a rock tour is just this giant party. Everybody's fucking drinking all the time and doing drugs, banging groupies in the green room or whatever. Like, it's not that. Like,
I mean, it would be if I was on tour. But.
I will say there are, like, it's a spectrum, right? It's a like some bands are more on that end than others. But, like, for most bands that are, like, career musicians, like, they're, you know, the tour ain't their first rodeo, they're not fucking around. Like, you know, they're like, okay, I'm done playing. I need to calm down so I can fucking sleep before the next show. Like, there's no time for partying and drugs and shit. Like, you know, it's so, like, yeah, it's
and then when you get to
work.
my age,
Yeah.
it's like I could literally, if I'm playing at 11 o'clock at night, this is no bullshit, dude. We could play at 11, be done by 12:30, have all our gear in the fucking deal by, let's say, 1:30, and we're on the road at 2.
Yeah.
I'm sleeping at 2:10.
Yep.
I'm snoring at 2:10. Like, I have zero problem, like, and just going to sleep. Like, what?
I envy you, man. It takes me a while.
You'll get there. Trust me, homie. You'll get there, and you will no longer envy me.
Yeah.
Like, you'll miss the days. You'll miss the days where you could.
Yeah.
It's a big difference, dude. And I don't know when it happened, but I've always been the guy who's like, I can rage all night, but then once I'm tired, I'm done. I hit a wall.
Yeah.
That's what I always. So it'd be 4 a.m, and it'd be like, I'm going to bed, and everybody would be like, what are you talking about? We just fucking put in a pizza. I'd be like, I don't give a fuck about that pizza. I'm going to bed, and I would just like go to sleep.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Like, now it's as soon as the fun is done, and I put my feet up. If I sit down, I'm like, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. I don't give a fuck. But if we're having fun, man, if we're like having a great night, like, especially if I'm like, no, this is a night of memories. Oh, I can still be like, nope, we're not going to bed.
Yeah.
The key is I can't put my feet up. I can't elevate my feet. That's what happens when you hit 40. You put your ankles at knee level and you're done.
Yeah.
You're fucking donezo, bro.
Yeah, but to get back to the tour and not leave it on a negative note, like we're super grateful.
We're just starting. We're just starting off. We're just starting off. So
Yeah.
that's all the negative shit. It's a lot of work. It's not as much partying as you think.
Yeah,
Like, it's a lot of fucking, oh, you're the opening band. Fuck you. You guys don't matter. They don't say that, but that's what happens. That's the reality.
The thing is, for like every fucking person that has that attitude, like, there's people that are like, you guys stole the show, like.
Oh, and I didn't mean that literally. I didn't mean
Yeah.
that literally. I meant what you said, where it's like, not everybody has enough room for everything.
Yeah.
Shit rolls downhill.
Yeah.
Like, fuck the opening band. And that's the way it has to be. That's how the business works. That's not saying anybody literally did that to you.
Yep.
That's just kind of like happenstance. Is that what you would call it? It's just like.
Yeah, I mean, it's nobody's fault, really. Like, it's just, I mean, other than maybe the people that booked the shows, like, we still don't even know, like, who exactly, like, planned everything, you know? It's like,
Well, and it's not.
But-
I don't think anybody plans it. I don't think anybody
Yeah.
says, "Hey, we're going to set this up and literally fuck over the opening band." It's just it happens.
Yeah, or,
And
they,
it-
or
and-
even
and
the
it's-
people that book it might not know exactly the logistics of how everything's going to work out. You know,
Right.
It's like, yeah,
Exactly. And it's just those things aren't going to roll uphill to the headlining band. That's all I was really getting at.
yeah.
But so what are some of the super cool things that you experienced that are like, whether it's a core memory, whether it's a career changing moment, whether it's a networking opportunity, like what are some of those super positive things about this that you can experience? Because this is your first legitimate
Like honestly,
tour.
like the thing that really comes to mind is the fucking multiple times on this tour, parents came up to us at the merch table with their kids. And they said to us, "You guys are the fucking first band my kid has seen live, and you blew him away." Like
That's super cool. That's a
Yeah.
fan for life, dude.
yeah, right.
That's a real fan.
Yeah. So, if we can have like that kind of positive impact on people, I mean, we had people drive from 6 hours away to come see us, like
Because they were already fans of you,
yeah,
too?
because they were already fans of
That's
us.
fucking amazing,
Yeah.
dude.
They're like, yeah, you guys never go on tour, or you've never like this is our first time ever being really west of the Mississippi, I think even. So yeah, first time in the western half of the country. What time is it, by the way? 16. Yeah.
What time is it?
7:16.
Oh, yeah, we got time.
But anyway, like yeah, it's our first West Coast tour, first time playing in like a bunch of different states, and people are like, yeah, I've been a fan of you guys for years, and I was so stoked to hear you guys were coming out west, and like I wasn't gonna miss it for the world. So, like, yeah, that kind of shit is awesome to hear.
That's the power of that social media shit that we talk about so
Yeah.
much.
Yep.
Which I don't think people resonate with when they don't leave town.
Yeah.
Like this is again to get back to some of the fucking preachy ass condescending rhetoric that we have on this podcast. It's not meant that way. It's meant as like honest advice. Get the fuck out of this town. Like this is the greatest town to become a musician,
Yeah.
but it's not the greatest town to build a career. Like you have to leave in some way, shape, or form. And that I don't mean you have to move to LA, right? If you're Logan Stahlecker from Stormbreaker, yeah, move to fucking Nashville, bro. You're way too talented to be in this town. But if you've got a band like your band, which is kind of transient, right? Like half of your band is in South Carolina, half of your band is here. You guys aren't really a local band. You know what I mean? You're not
Yeah.
caught up in the local politics. And
Yeah.
even if you are that band who's like big locally, if you really want to do anything of significance, at a minimum, you got to get big regionally. Like start expanding that fan base that you've built. You're the band that draws, let's just make this up, right? You're the band that draws 500 people at your, you can do it fucking 4, 5, 6 times a year in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Cool. Now start doing that same thing in Kansas City, in Des Moines, in Chicago, in Minneapolis, in Madison, in fucking Indianapolis, in like build a bubble.
Yeah.
Even just getting to that point, you're in a version of 1% of the music industry. You want another one? Yeah, grab one, dude. I actually thought that we had already gotten you a new one, and I was just that far ahead of you.
Yeah. No, I was just debating in my head.
I just
whether-
love how light
I was like,
these
do I
beers are.
want another one?
I just love how
I was
light
like,
these
yeah,
beers
dude.
are because you can just slam these.
Oh yeah, they're fucking great. I mean, like,
Have you ever had these before?
no, these are really good beers.
Third
like,
Street Brew House, local Minnesota place.
Yeah, I gotta remember this one.
Cheers. They're super
cheers,
affordable.
man.
It's like $13.50 or $16 depending on what suburb you're in. So
Okay.
between, $14 and $16 for a 12-pack, and they're tall boys, dude.
Oh,
super
hell yeah.
good, dude.
That's a really good price.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
and dude, it's a good quality beer. Like you're not gonna feel like shit tomorrow. Like
Yeah.
if you drink a lot of them, you'll still have a hangover, but it's not gonna be like a cheap beer hangover.
Yeah.
You know what I
know
mean?
what you mean. Yeah. Had enough of those in college.
Okay, so because I haven't experienced that where somebody's like, I drove 6 hours to see your band,
Yeah.
but I have experienced the 2 to 4 hour Midwestern drive.
Yeah.
But it's not exactly like they came there to see our band. I mean, they did, but But it's not fair because they would have driven 2 to 4 hours to see any band because they were in Podunk, Wisconsin, and they came to Milltown. I mentioned this town earlier. Like, this was a town that we built up for a while. It was called Milltown, Wisconsin, and people would come, kids specifically, would come from anywhere from 2 hours to 4 hours in any direction. But it wasn't because it was just our band. It was any band they liked. This was the closest place they could go, where there was like a legitimate music venue that like served pizza, and there's bars across the street for the adults. And yeah, man, you would have, and I'm not exaggerating, like 400 to 600 people packed in these venues, rabid to see your band. But they would also do that 3 weeks later for another band that they also liked. What you're talking about is something incredibly special and incredibly rare, which is you actually did the thing that everybody hopes they can do, which is write, record, and produce great music, put it on the internet, get some sort of online presence, build some sort of intangible fan base. So maybe if someday you come anywhere near them, these motherfuckers will actually come see you. And you did that, dude. Like, do you, and I understand you're not Metallica.
Right.
I understand that you're not even Killswitch Engage. Okay? But I have to ask you this question. Are you able to, even at this level of success, sit back and just go, wow, we've achieved something already that almost no one has done? Like, do you understand the level of the fucking pyramid you've gotten?
Yeah, we do. Like,
have you personally sat back and just been like, wow, man? Like, do you have the ability? Because I can tell you this from the outside.
Yeah.
If it ended today, you have a successful music career. You don't have to be Metallica to be a successful musician.
Right.
If you got in a car accident today or tomorrow, God forbid, and you can no longer do it, you've had a very legitimate and successful music career. Personally, not just as a band, and you can extrapolate as a band, but personally, have you sat back and been like, wow, man, like I've really fucking done a lot that most people, no matter how hard they try, can't do?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's something.
And how much do you appreciate that?
Yeah. I appreciate it every day, man, and especially like I try to keep it in the back of my mind, you know, when the going gets rough, you know, like I mentioned, a lot of ups and downs on this past tour. There was a lot of times when we were really like doubting ourselves, and then I would just be like, you know, even though all this other shit sucks, isn't it just fucking amazing that we're this band that gets to go out and do this? Like, look at how many other people would kill to be able to do this. Like it's just like we're out here on the road, you know, we're the best of friends, you know, we don't hate each other's guts, you know, we're all good friends, we're in this together, fucking playing our own songs that we wrote, you know, to people who, a lot of them, you know, are really digging what we're putting out there. Like, it's just, we're so lucky to be doing what we're doing. Like, so I never take it for granted. For sure.
What was the moment that it really hit you guys? You're talking about this discussion. What was the moment where you guys were like, because obviously this moment happens after some bad shit has happened, right? But some cool shit has happened too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, probably like the biggest low point. I mean, I don't know how safe it or what level of detail is safe for this, but I mean, I mean, it's probably fine.
Bro, we're rated X. We're rated.
Yeah.
X, bro.
So there's this venue. It's a very famous venue in Los Angeles called Whiskey A Go Go. A lot of bands have sort of come up through this place, like fucking Van Halen, like grew up like Motley Crue, yeah, bands from
anybody
LA.
from LA,
yeah, anybody from LA,
even Metallica,
come up in that place. That place fucking screws bands over like no other venue I've ever seen. Like they it's like they charge us $60 just to park in their parking lot, like as the band who's playing there. Put us in the worst spot like possible for merch, basically, for that night, and they took a 20% merch cut.
Oh.
Yeah, which
that's
like,
bleeding here. Like it's crazy how Minneapolis business and politics follow California and Canada. So Ronnie, we talked about this on the podcast. You don't have to pull this up because we verified this a couple episodes ago. Ronnie Radke from Falling in Reverse made a big speech when he was at the Armory. He goes, the reason we're not selling merch tonight is because the Armory wants to take 25% of our sales.
That's
and
bullshit,
fuck
man.
this venue and fuck this fucking place. If you want to buy our shit, you got to go to our website.
Yeah.
And I resonate with that and understand that and agree with that so much because my attitude is this. If your venue is in a position where you have to charge your own acts that you have paid to come there.
Yeah, right.
If you have to charge them parking and or merch, your taxes are too high. Your operational costs for doing business are so outrageously high that this is no longer just fuck this club.
Yeah.
It's a fuck this town moment. And that's something that's very similar between these two towns. Is these two towns
I guess
do
it's
not
definitely
give
not
a fuck.
Yeah, it's got to be an LA thing for sure. Like,
Well, it's here too.
yeah,
It's literally here too
Yeah.
now. Not with every club. Most clubs here are legit, but
yeah,
there's several clubs and there's a bunch of them that are owned by an LA company.
right.
So,
Well, yeah, a lot of venues, and like we met, like there were other venues on that tour that tried to take merch cuts too, but we sweet talked them out of it. We gave them we're the opening band sob story, and they took pity on us, thankfully.
or they never needed that 25% in the fucking first place,
Yeah.
and you were the only people who had the balls to fucking call them on it, dude.
Yeah,
Because that's a thing too, man. Just sometimes just being like, no, they'll be like,
Yeah.
okay. I'm not joking. I know this from peers, like in the industry. That's I don't want people to start fights, but sometimes you just be like, no, we can't afford that. Like we can barely make it to the next town, and they're like, okay.
yeah.
So they don't even need it. Some of them are doing it just for greed. Keep going.
Yeah. But anyway, that was kind of the low point of the tour, was that show, and like the turnout was pretty shit that night too. And then there was even that was one of the shows where there was an opening band, and like
a local, you mean?
a local band who paid $1,000 to open that show.
Yep.
To like about 100 people.
Probably their own 100 people.
Yeah.
That's the irony.
Yeah.
Like they paid $1,000, and those 100 people that showed up were probably their own people that paid tickets at how much? Do you remember the ticket cost for that show?
$30-$40 probably,
Sure,
somewhere
right.
in there.
So
Yeah.
so think about this. This is how fucked things are in the music business, right? Sometimes it's greedy concert promoters. Sometimes it's guys who've just lost their ass for 3 shows in a row. Sometimes it's the cost of doing business in that town through taxes and fees and permits are so outrageous. It's this how it has to be, right?
Yeah.
But think about this. This guy charged that opening band, that local band, charged him $1,000 to open for Drowning Pool. They didn't open for you. They opened for Drowning Pool.
Oh yeah.
That's what's going on the resume, right? But here's the point. They also got 100 local fans to come through and pay $30, right? So that's another $3,000.
Yeah.
So that concert promoter got $4,000 from one band, and that's probably how he paid for Drowning Pool,
Yeah.
right? Like that's probably how he did it. This is
You're not
again,
wrong. You're not
again,
wrong.
and
Yeah.
I'm not saying he was a bad guy for doing it.
Business, man.
This is the fucking business, dude.
Yeah.
this is how it works. Sometimes, right? This isn't an absolute.
Yeah.
But these are these uncomfortable moments where you realize this is a business. People got to get paid. Like he might have even paid $5,000 to that venue to do that. He might have gotten fucked.
Yeah.
He might have lost $1,000 that night. We don't know. Like it's too impossible to. Oh, he fucked everybody, right? We don't know that. We just don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's expensive to fucking put on shows and run tours.
So you have
like,
this bad night.
Yeah, we have this bad night, and we're super demoralized at this point. And I think.
Are you? But sorry, I apologize, but I'm trying to paint a narrative.
Yeah.
Are you guys blaming anybody? Are you questioning anything? Are you resentful towards anybody? Or is this literally just like...
Yeah, I mean, it's like I mean, at the time, like, yeah, we're like, fuck everything, fuck all this shit, like, obviously we're not going and posting about it on social media. We're smart enough not to do that, But, so, yeah, we're demoralized at this point. But then, like, I think the next day when we're driving to the next town, I was just like, it's like, you know what, isn't it, even with all the fucking bullshit, like, isn't it just amazing that we're able to even do this and have this story to tell? Like, what other fucking band can say, like, oh, yeah, remember when we went out on tour to fucking halfway across the country and got screwed over at this venue? Like, it's just like,
exactly.
I don't even take that for granted, it's like,
exactly. That's the mindset that you guys need to keep.
Yeah.
That's such a wise way to think about it, because we all want to think we're the main character.
Yeah. Especially
as musicians, because we kind of are, right? Like, even if you're not the main character, you're a main character, right? Like, maybe you're part of, because you're in a band, you're an ensemble cast. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Right? You're part of Ocean's 13. You know what I mean? Or Ocean's 12, whatever the fuck. Ocean's 11, is that what it's actually called? Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
11.
I don't know how I went in reverse. Whatever. But that's an ensemble thing, right?
Right.
Yeah, you got a couple rock stars in there, and George Clooney and Brad Pitt, but, like, it's a crew.
Yeah.
Like, it's a true ensemble. And the bit players oftentimes steal the show. Right? And in that scenario, it could be, a bass player. Doesn't matter. Could be anybody.
Yeah.
But what we all fail to acknowledge is that we could be the father of the main character. Right?
Yeah.
Like all of these experiences might be lining up for you to train the greatest tennis player of all time. Because the discipline and the sacrifice and the wherewithal you've learned from being on tour as a musician will directly translate to teaching this kid how to have good practice habits as a tennis player. That's why you can't just give up as a struggling musician.
Oh, yeah.
There's lessons to be learned here.
Yep.
That aren't always just about us. It's about the knowledge and the experience and the wisdom we can pass on to other people, because we are doing something that 1% of humans do.
Right. Yeah. I'm constantly, like, forgetting, like, how rare it is, like, what I'm able to do is, because, like, I'll talk to, normies, and they have no idea about, the world that is just fucking natural to me. It's like,
especially at a day job, if you still have a day job.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I still have a day job. Like, I'm a fucking musician in an original band. Of course I have a day job.
I'm just saying, like, it's an interesting experience, because even me, technically I have a day job.
Yeah.
Right? For now. And for me, I've always carried a day job sometimes. It's just what you got to do as a musician. But like what you were kind of saying, when you're talking to, like, normal people.
Yeah.
And it's just so let me ask you this, dude. I feel like not only do people not respect the work ethic and dedication that goes into being a reasonably successful musician, I feel like sometimes those personality traits don't directly translate to other jobs. So, for example, I can be really good at a regular job.
Right.
But people aren't like, man, that guy's the shit. You're just a guy. But if you're really good at this job that we're talking about,
yeah,
people are like, that guy's a fucking shit.
Yeah, right.
It's really strange how you can be really good at something and you get zero respect, but you can be really good at something else and you get a lot of respect.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
do you experience that at all?
Yeah, a little bit. I think it mainly just has to do with the fact that, you know, being a live musician is, you're literally up on stage fucking in front of people like that are, you know, just paying attention to you being awesome, right? Like, it's just, you're just super visible, right? As opposed to, like, my day job is I'm a software engineer. Like, you could be the fucking best software engineer in the country. Nobody knows who the fuck you are. Like, because you're just in the shadows doing your shit, you know? Like, that's, you know, it's just, it's who is visible and who's not, I think. Yeah.
Sure. But, I mean, there's times where you're visible, but you're in front of nobody. You're playing in front of your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, we've all played those shows. We've all been to those shows.
Right.
Like, I can name 100 bands where I watched them one week play in front of a sold-out crowd where they were the headliner for 500 people in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And then we come back and we're playing in Mankato, and literally no one is there except for their girlfriends and the other bands that are playing that night.
Oh, yeah.
I think the only other genre of artists that can relate to us are comedians.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, optics are everything, right? It's just like, there's so many smoke and mirrors in the music industry. Like, it's just like, how good is your picture? Like, how many people does it look like you're playing in front of? How many?
Great point.
Yeah, it's like, how much can you inflate your Spotify numbers with bots or, you know, like, not that we do that or anything, but it's like, it's a thing that bands
The labels
right?
do it.
Yeah, right? Like, there's tricks, you know, to make things seem bigger and more impressive than they are.
The
right?
labels have bots that are legitimate accounts, meaning they don't just stream, they buy downloads. So the labels will literally invest
buy
$1
their own
million
music.
into downloading your 99-cent single on a million different accounts.
I mean,
to
that's
give you 1 million downloads.
That's a platinum album right there, right?
And it will create a legitimate snowball, though.
Well, yeah, that's
because once it
smart.
pushes you into the. I mean,
that's
you
smart,
you guys are the ones that taught me about this.
You trick the algorithm.
But you guys are the ones that clued me into this. I don't know if you literally taught me what I said out loud just now, but you guys, specifically Jesse, on this podcast, sat me down and he goes, no, it's not about that anymore. It's about these playlists. You got to get on these playlists.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so I did some research on these playlists, and then I realized those playlists are the record label's playlists, meaning it's radio.
Yeah, basically.
It's radio. Like, they control this, they dictate it, and they funnel. So getting on one of those playlists is a huge deal because that means the labels are listening to you.
Yeah.
That means the labels are paying attention. So when you guys make it on those playlists, it's genuinely impressive. Don't discount it, guys.
Oh no, yeah. Like we've never gotten on it's called a curated Spotify playlist. So
you got on one of them once.
No, not that was put on by actual Spotify.
I thought you did.
No,
I thought you did once.
No,
I swear you got on one of them.
I would know because I'm in the band, and we would know.
I swear you got on one of them.
Yeah, no, we've never been on a curated Spotify playlist.
No shit.
Yeah, but actually, what we're trying to do with our new music we're working on is like our producer. Actually, so that's another highlight of the tour is we met this guy Dusty Bulls who produced one of the other bands on the tour. They're called A Killer's Confession. and their lead singer is the former lead singer of Mushroomhead. So they're kind of like taking Mushroomhead's whole and slash Slipknot's whole like, guys in jumpsuits and masks thing, and like kind of putting their own spin on it. But their new record that they did with Dusty is fucking great. It's called Victim One. So if you're into like modern new metal type stuff, go check it out. It's really good stuff. But yeah, we met Dusty at the show in Cheyenne, Wyoming. He drove up from Denver just to see that show. But he met us, and we fucking ended up talking to him for like an hour and like spitballing ideas, like, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna work together now because it seems like we fucking found our soulmate,
Really?
in a producer,
It's
So
interesting
like,
how that works, isn't it?
yeah. So,
Like so much of this business
yep,
is, and I say business on purpose, but so much of this business is chemistry and vibes. Just like, I like being around this person. Like, I want to work with this guy. Like, it helps when this person has been successful and done stuff with cool people. That's helpful.
yeah,
But like that soulmate thing, you're like, no, this is the guy we're supposed to work with.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's a super cool guy, super talented, and yeah, like basically we've got this whole plan of how we're gonna kind of reinvent the band's image too. Like we've got like it's still sort of in the works, but we're like we're trying to get away from the guys in 4 normal dudes in a band look to something a little bit more larger than life. Not that we're gonna go put on war paint and masks and shit,
right,
but a little more, just something to stand out a little bit more.
I always think that's
yeah.
interesting too. That
Yeah.
entire conversation of philosophy, because
Yeah.
that becomes an image,
Yep.
which becomes the mainstream, right? Like if everybody's wearing eyeliner, eyeliner doesn't help you stand out.
Right.
It becomes a very gamble.
Yep.
Scenario. Like you're gambling, like you're predicting, and this kind of goes back to what you were talking about with working with producers, is they kind of know what's working and what's not working.
Yep.
And I always wonder about this because Lazarus and I were talking about this. I was talking about the ripple effect. So instead of just thinking about it like a pyramid, it's almost like ripples. So a rock goes into the pond, right? That's a new genre of music being invented. The first band that does it, they're the rock. They create the ripple. They sink straight to the pond. Very few people know about them. But they create a ripple effect that another band immediately latches onto. And in the best analogy would be Metallica and the new wave of British heavy metal. Right? They got onto that wave and that ripple super fast that they created their own ripple almost. Right? Like they like rode that wave up and then splashed back down. But somehow they created a bigger ripple than the original ripple. Now, as that ripple goes farther out from the center, that's time, right? So if that ripple's way out here and you're just now coming up to the surface and riding that wave, you might even have quite a bit of local success.
Yeah.
But you're so far on that ripple. The analogy for me is like when metalcore got popular or new metal got popular, depending on your age. So let's say Korn or Killswitch Engage are at the top of their fucking height. And that's when you start your local band. By the time you form your local band, start playing out, and start drawing, that genre of music's probably not even popular anymore. Right? So you're too late riding that wave.
Right. Yep.
So what you try to do as a musician is create your own wave, create your own ripple. Because that's the only way you can be ahead of any of these things that we're talking about, whether this producer comes in. And that's why I asked you earlier in the conversation, I go, was he saying you guys are missing something? Or was he saying, hey, what you're trying to do works if you do it like this? Because I remember when I was in a band and I gave this guy my demo, he's fairly prominent, and he goes, oh, you need a DJ. And I went, what?
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, you don't have a DJ. And I go, yeah, I know I don't have a DJ. And he goes, you're not going to make it if you don't have a DJ. Every popular band has DJs. And I was like, yeah, fuck those bands, dude.
Yeah.
And I was right in that scenario because what he was trying to do was tell me what the bands at the farthest edge of the ripple are doing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was just starting a thing where I'm like, fuck those bands. I was young. I was super young.
Yeah.
Dude, like 16
he's
years
the
old.
guy who in like
He was 30.
It's 2007 and he's like, Linkin Park is a DJ. You need a DJ. It's like
that's exactly who he was referencing. That's actually exactly who he referenced.
Linkin Park was washed up at that point. It's
exactly, exactly. Dude.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I'm saying. Now he was actually acknowledging that in like 2001, 2002. So it's before I even graduated high school.
Okay.
But even at that point, I was like,
yeah, I mean,
I was like,
still
those
like,
guys are on the radio. I was like, fuck those guys. I don't want to do that radio bullshit. I was like, Linkin Park sucks. I was like, fuck Linkin Park. Those pussy ass motherfuckers rapping. Fuck them, dude. I was like, if I'm going to rap and have a DJ, if I'm going to do any of that, I'm going Slipknot, bro, which is already kind of outplayed.
Right.
Right? Because you're a kid. You're a kid. You don't give a fuck what the adults think. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? I'm a 16-year-old kid. You're 30. You're trying to tell me what's cool? Fuck you, old man. Now I'm 40, and I'm like, that 30-year-old young man was fucking, like, perception's way different. Perception's way different, but the message is 100% sound in that moment, which is he was on the edge of a ripple that was already starting to die out. Me as a come-up kid was like, nu metal sucks. Metalcore is the future. You don't know what you're talking about, old man.
Yeah.
But here's my crazy point is I was already 2 to 3, 4 years too late in the metalcore thing.
Right.
Right? So like where I'm going with this is do the thing. Build your band. Pay your dues. Do every lesson that we've kind of talked about. But ultimately is try to develop your own sound.
Yeah.
Build your own following.
That's the kind of goal,
especially with the internet nowadays.
With what we're trying to do right now is like we're trying to stay ahead of the curve here, and like Dusty even like had a way that he put it. He's like you guys are like as a band are like the hot chick who just hasn't found like the right like photographer to put her in like the right light or the right tattoo artist to put the right fucking tattoos on her yet. Like, and
you may never be.
Yeah.
That's the Metallica thing, right? That's the Motley Crue thing. Is like these guys came out and didn't exactly fit in with anybody in any genre, and they had to carve out their own. That's you being your own rock that creates your own ripple. That's really what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I think you guys are kind of doing something like that because it's very hard to peg you guys into an exact. They sound like this band. They're doing this genre. You're kind of doing your own thing, and I feel like you're doing it the right way, whereas you're kind of in your discovery phase without alienating your previous sound. There's other bands that I'm not going to name, homies, been on the podcast and shit, but there's other bands that have kind of done the same climb you're doing, but during that climb, they almost start to question what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they start experimenting and they start like becoming really like obscure and you're like, I don't even know what kind of band you are anymore.
Exactly.
Like you guys have become something weird that doesn't even make sense. Whereas you guys, what you're doing is you're evolving in a very, like, I'm not comparing you to Metallica, but like you listen to Kill 'Em All to the Black Album, it's two different bands. But there's a direct linear progression between those 5 albums.
Exactly.
You guys are more on that path, and I think that's better for a group's ultimate success.
Yeah.
Is basically kind of what you're doing.
Yep.
You haven't alienated your sound. You haven't switched genres. You're not chasing a fucking popular sound. You're doing you.
Yeah.
You're creating music what it sounds like you want to listen to. Is that accurate?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, we, like, through all the stuff we put out so far, we sort of figured out, the kind of demographics that we want to gravitate towards and the kind of sort of general vibe of the music we want to be. It's just more of getting something that's a little bit more unique to us. That's not like, oh, these guys are, trying too much to sound like this other band. So it's like trying to have a little bit more of an original, unique sound, coupled with having enough music to, the ultimate goal is to try to pitch it to a label and get like a good deal, so that, like you were saying before, we can reach that 350, right?
Every day.
Every day.
Or every 45 minutes.
Because that's ultimately the biggest thing is we just need to get ourselves in front of enough people. And we think at this point the best way is to get some kind of a record deal with a big label that can do that for us. So
you think that is the path for you at this point?
Yeah. Yep. And from there, there's different ways we can go, depending on if they want to sign us for a multi-record deal or something, because a lot of bands will sign a 3-record deal, do those 3 records, then they've built up their brand and their following enough, they just go independent, and then they're making money on their own, the same,
right.
Even if they don't have access to those same channels anymore, they still have that built-in fan base, and then all the money they're making on new music is theirs.
And a lot of it's distribution deals now too.
Yeah.
10 areas where your band needs to stand out. Let's whip through these. Your band name, yep. Your music, duh. Your attitude, your style, your artwork, logo, typography, your merchandise, your gear, affiliations, band partnerships. Okay, let's slow down on that one. What does that mean for local bands? Because that I get that, but let's every band wants to gear sponsorship. Making partner deal with musical brand can help you earn cash and gain some recognition. But make sure when you approach companies with that just happens organically. Engagement with fans, social media feeds. Yep, that's what I talk about a lot. And your participation in social media trends. That last one I'm not going to endorse because sometimes being trendy is really distasteful.
Yeah,
especially for young people. Like young people, there's 2 cultures. There's pop culture and there's counterculture.
Yeah.
Right? If you're trying to be counterculture like Tool, don't do pop culture social media trends.
Yeah.
That's going to backfire on you. It's going to alienate the people who would like your shit. What are we doing on time, Murph? 8 o'clock? Okay, so we got 15, 30 minutes. I'm going to play that same video one more time.
Okay.
I got to piss again.
Yeah, me too.
Do you really? Nice. All right, let's play this video. You're going to go upstairs. I'm going to piss in the peasant sink. All right. What's this? Wolves?
Wolves.
This is your new video.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
Directed by who?
JT Ibanez.
JT Ibanez. Does he make guitars?
He doesn't. He makes only videos. Sorry. He's not affiliated with Ibanez.
All right, we'll be right back, guys.
In the night glow, even when the bottle hides behind a promise, and nothing that will stop me. Better if you're not here, if I'm being honest. The changing, a heartbeat that breaks the floodgates open. The demon that marks me knows how to pick a poison. All it took was a little push. Now I'm shot like a pistol. See a dirty bloodline took another victim. If I could, I would surrender, but I can't remember how to spot the symptom. 'Cause something inside me is looking for a voice, and the demon that marks me knows how to pick a floodgates open. The demon that marks me knows how to pick a poison. Something inside me is looking for a poison. The demon that marks me knows how to pick a poison. All it took was a little push. Now I'm shot like a pistol with the cord. Time and time, 11th hour, seeing red. Don't go wasting a trigger. Pull too far, gone for a bullet. Half a man, twice the mass. Running with the walls again. Running with the walls again.
I unmuted him. We're good. Okay, so I actually found a behind-the-scenes video of Chad recording this song. While you were pissing, we found this. Murph, do you want to play this? You can keep it muted so we won't get flagged. But we actually found a video of Chad. He looks like he's lost some weight. But this is a video of Chad recording this song. Can the YouTube see this? Okay, good. This is a video of Chad recording the song we just listened to. All right, you can cut this one, Merv. That was pretty good. That was pretty good, wasn't it?
Man,
Isn't it crazy how much weight Chad's lost? Like, just for that one recording? I mean, playing all that brass is exhausting. It burns calories.
It's surprising. Like, there's actually less cymbals than he normally has in there.
There's actually less cymbals.
He downsized, man. But
that's definitely a clip.
oh man, Chad.
Fuck, man. All right, let's pull up this Chris Gaines clip. So Murph pulled this up at the beginning of the podcast, and then we just got on other tangents. So he's just had this lurking. This is Garth Brooks as Chris Gaines. This is the official music video that he actually put out in public. Go ahead and unmute it. Oh, I got to turn this down. Hold on.
Oh God,
there we go.
He literally looks like Adam Gontier from 3 Days Grace.
So what he had to do was prove to himself that Garth Brooks' name wasn't the gospel. And he did it. He proved to himself that he sucks when he's not Garth Brooks. like literally anything Garth Brooks does not turn to gold, because this sucks. We do not need to finish this music video. We're done. Chris, Mr. Gaines, excuse me, Mr. Gaines, you lost me at a minute 12. Like, we're good, dude. We're good, bro. That fucking sucked, dude, so bad. But he did that.
Wow. He looks like fucking Adam Gontier from 3 Days Grace. Like the exact look.
He also looks like
in that era, at least.
He also looks like people from AFI and Trent Reznor and Garth, you're not that good. Sorry, buddy. What did you say Stephen King's alter ego?
Richard Bachman.
You're no Richard Bachman, you son of a bitch. Because those Richard Bachman novels were fire.
Yeah, some of them were really good. Yeah.
It's so funny because that's what happened. Stephen King did the Richard Bachman thing, and he was like, no, I'm dope. It's not just because my name's Stephen King. Like, my stories are fire.
Yeah.
Garth Brooks did the same thing, and he was like, no, I'm dope, and everything I do isn't dope.
The Garth Brooks, it's all about the Garth Brooks brand. Well, I wonder if he wrote those songs, because Garth Brooks, like, he wrote some of his songs, but like most of his big hits he actually didn't write. So I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things, like I've heard from Murph, will you grab me one more beer, please, buddy? You want one more?
No, I'm good. Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those things like Elton John talked about, where Elton John thought Benny and the Jets was a trash song.
Yeah.
But then it went #1 on the R&B charts, and he was like, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he was just like super humble about it. He was like, oh, maybe this is a great song that I wrote. You know? Like, that's the opposite side of the coin of what you're talking about. It's like, these are great songs, but I didn't write them. So
yeah, I mean, that's the thing too, like a lot of musicians have egos about, which I think is like, it kind of maybe takes some time to overcome it, but like I think it's okay to not be a great songwriter. Like, you know, a lot of the time it's just about whether you have the right star power to kind of make it, and
sure,
if you can get the right team around you to help you build the songs, you know, that's okay too. You
so
know,
what role do you play in the failsafe?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of depends on the songs. Like, some of the songs we've written, like, I've been like the main songwriter and producer, I would say too. Like, because like, yeah, we were talking about producers before, but like I've you know, done the production on a lot of our older songs too, where I've been the one going in there adding in the bells and whistles, the electronics, and the, you know, the drum hits that make it really pop and that kind of stuff. But I mean, like at this point, like we haven't really started the deep writing process on our current material, but I mean, like, yeah, like from our like first record, Erased in Color, through our EP, Toxic Hearts, like I've been the primary songwriter on a lot of the stuff, where I'm like writing the whole song musically, and then Jesse like added the vocals. Some of the stuff Jesse wrote the whole song. Some of the stuff Chad wrote the whole song.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, Chad's like not just a drummer, like.
No, and I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it just in regards to Chad. I just meant it like some guys in the band are allowed to just write a whole song.
Yeah,
that's super unique, dude. Because like a lot of bands that are like a democracy, a collaborative, like it's kind of that. It's like nobody just gets to write a whole song, but you guys are way more liberal with it. It's like, hey man, if you have a great song, then we'll just do that song. You lack the ego, or you have a strong enough ego to allow somebody else to be an equally creative force in your band. That's incredibly rare, dude.
Yeah, I mean, is
that on purpose, or did that happen by default?
No, yeah, that's definitely something we've always done as a band, and I'd say consciously too, is we're not trying to. It's all about just writing the best song we can, right? And like, and who writes the song, it doesn't matter. It's just whatever gets us to that best end product is what we're trying to aim for. And like right now, with like especially the 3 songs we did with Andrew Bayless, that song Wolves we did with him, and then our previous single Dying to Exist we did with him, and then we have another unreleased song. But like when we worked with him, we kind of brought in some like demos of like riffs and stuff, and he listened to them and is like, yeah, this one's good, this one's not good, and he would sort of like take them and fit them into his skeleton of like a general rock song and sort of like build a song out from there. So I kind of see that as sort of the direction things are going with Dusty too, is where like I'll kind of like I've got like some riffs I've recorded and stuff and sending them off to Dusty, and then he can listen and be like, okay, these have potential and these don't. And then sort of, because that's kind of my,
instead of building a song,
and bringing
it to
my
him.
strength as like a writer, I think, is more coming up with cool like bit parts, like whether it's a guitar riff or especially like I think
Instead of building out the whole song, right?
What Bayless really liked from me was like the sort of ambient clean guitar stuff I would do. He was like, yeah, this stuff is fire. Like we're putting all this in the song. And
so you already had a structure and a chord progression?
Yeah, like
okay.
Depending on I mean,
in this hypothetical scenario,
like the 3 different songs kind of came together in different ways, I think. But yeah, like on a couple of the songs, it was like I remember the first song we did. We just came in and he was like, "I got this chorus chord progression like already."
He already had it.
Yeah.
So he had a chord progression.
Yeah.
He wanted you to write 2.
Yeah, basically.
So you wrote a riff to a chord progression.
Well, like he had the chord progression for the chorus, and
right.
then he listened to my demo that I had with my clean guitar, and he's like, "Okay, this is the verse," and then he took that part and put it as the verse, basically. Like, yeah.
You should film all of this.
Yeah.
And put this behind your Patreon paywall.
Yeah, I wish we would have filmed more of it. It would have been sick.
This is great behind the scenes content, and it's incredibly important for those young fans who you were their first band they ever seen. Again, even if you don't become Metallica, this is incredibly important for them to see how these processes work.
Yep.
Incredibly important. Especially for the young songwriters who think everything is written by me creating the greatest riff of all time in my basement and then bringing it to the rehearsal space, writing the song, and then bringing it to the studio and recording it No, that's not how it works, dude.
Yeah.
Like there's variations and alterations, and sometimes you have to dumb down your riff by removing every other note, like you said earlier. These are huge. You guys should definitely start doing that in the future. It's great content.
Yeah.
It's a way for you to add value for your Patreon subscribers that are already there, and it's a way for you to add extra content to give more people reason to subscribe to your Patreon. Yep. Hey, if you want to see the year in a life of Metallica, right?
Yeah.
If you want to see our version of that, it's not going to be in a box set DVD. It's going to be on our Patreon.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we already do that, but not enough of it. We need to, and
especially
it's also
moments
tough.
Like that, like those conversations.
Yeah.
I
if you're not just filming the whole thing,
right? That's the tough part.
Yeah,
that's the tough part. Like, hold on, he's gonna call me back. I emailed him this riff. He's gonna call me back at 2:15. Let me make sure I have a camera set up to record this moment.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah,
that's work. That's a job, right? Unless you have a guy there who's doing it all the time. Yeah. But this is part of the deal we live in now.
Yeah, I think we kind of need to just have like a fucking phone. Just like, okay, this phone's on a tripod over here, and it's just gonna capture everything, right?
Yeah.
So. I mean, that's
one way to do it.
That's probably just what we have to do.
Yeah, just put it in the corner of the room.
Yeah.
It sucks. But that's kind of what we got to do now, right?
Yep.
If you're gonna really do this the right way and create, because that's the point, is those Metallicas, those Panteras, those Motley Crues, they had people in the room with fucking video cameras.
Yep.
Recording this content and putting together these VHS tapes and DVDs and whatever genre you grew up with. Now it's YouTube, Patreon. Now fuck you.
Yeah.
Don't you ever say that Chinese name on this fucking podcast.
Well, it's about to get banned, so I won't have to say it anymore.
It's not really going to get banned. They have to sell a portion of their country to an American seed, basically, which just means
they
didn't
want to do it. Like, so they're actually are going to ban it. So that's what I heard anyway.
Well, like, obviously they don't want to do it because it's super corrupt.
Yeah.
Do you know, you're a software engineer, do you know about the background of TikTok?
Well, yeah, it's made by China, so they're like worried about people's data going to China.
But I mean, like
the
background, like the actual software engineering side of it. Like, have you deep dived this?
I mean,
read their terms of service. Do you know what I'm referring to? I don't want to set you up for a gotcha moment. I'm trying to.
No, I mean, I know like the high levels, like they're called like ByteDance in China or something. But
okay. So what I'm referring to, and since you're a software engineer, you might be able to. Maybe you can't. I don't know. But I'm going to set you up for this with a little bit more detail. Then is basically when you download the TikTok app on your phone, you give them permission to access every single device that device connects to.
Oh, okay.
So if you have that TikTok app on your phone, they now have access to your PC, your Mac. When you go to work and connect to their Wi-Fi, you get access to that computer, everything. Unless there's a direct firewall between that device and your Wi-Fi connected, which most people don't have in America. Yeah. Most of our shit's pretty wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're siphoning data.
Yeah.
Like at an alarming rate. And a very dangerous. Like they're violating levels of intellectual security.
Yeah.
That we're not prepared for. And the way it happens, apparently, is if your daughter downloads TikTok and you share a Wi-Fi network at home, it gets access to your device, which allegedly, and this is where I do not have confidence that this is true, but it deserves speculation because credible people have put this out there, that your daughter downloads TikTok. Since you share a home Wi-Fi network with that, it gets access to your device, and then when your device goes to your work and connects, that's where the real dilemma comes, because it has access to that device in any. So it's like a exponential spider web that just keeps going outward.
Yeah. I don't know the details about that at all. So yeah.
Since you're in that field, you should probably look into it. Because it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
It's kind of a different end of software engineering than what I do, but
so what do you do?
I make websites basically. So the
cutesy surface level stuff.
I do mostly front end stuff and some like middle end kind of, but I work for a credit union, so.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
At least you know you're not like doing damage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's always the weird thing is like you got a good job and like they pay you well and you're like, fuck, but I'm doing like
I'm not like working for Google,
a pharmaceutical company. Or something.
I'm not working for Pfizer writing writing stuff for people to deny people claims. And
you can sleep at night.
Yeah, United Healthcare, I should say.
So when's your guys' next show or tour or concert coming up?
Shit. So.
Do you have something in January, right?
No, we don't.
You're supposed to, you sons of bitches. That's why you couldn't do something with us. I'm just kidding.
I don't know. Yeah, but actually, so we are.
So what's going on?
We are.
What's going on with the Failsafe?
We're playing Rockfest this year. I can't say that.
But that's the summer.
Yeah, that's the summer. But other than that, that's all I really know at this point. And we might be doing something in April too.
Yeah, okay.
But that's kind of in the works.
That's what Jesse and I have been talking about.
Yeah.
Is if you guys do something here locally in April, I think we're going to be playing with you guys.
Hell
with the Montoya Machine.
Fuck yeah.
I don't think I played you any of that music. You have no idea what I'm talking about. We're going to wrap this up here in a couple of minutes.
Was that show you sent me? You texted me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, at Club Underground.
Sweet.
Yeah, we're playing January 17th Club Underground with Yasilik, which is like a badass metal band.
Awesome.
Polydemonic, which is a very good
round up
progressive
Chad
band.
And bring him out.
Yeah, do it, dude.
Yeah.
Come out, man. Let's have some beers, dude. We'll have a good time, dude. Because we're not fucking around anymore, dude. Like I'm drumming for Montoya. My solo project is slowly manifesting itself. I got 2 drummers now, so I got 2 different guys who can trade off duties, because that's the world we're coming to, like the MTVs.
Oh,
right?
okay.
That's the world we're coming to, is where even original bands are going to need rosters.
Yeah.
Like this is the main starting lineup, like a sports deal, right? This is our starting roster, and then when they can't make it, we've got these guys that just immediately step up. I think that's also a big time future of even just straight up Minneapolis local bands.
I would say that even like big like bands like fucking Slipknot and shit like that, like
they've been doing it.
Yeah, right. Like it's I mean, the music, people still want to hear the music, and they still want to see Slipknot, It's like, it doesn't matter who's wearing the fucking mask and the jumpsuit, as long as it's the same show, right?
Right.
Like, I mean,
Yeah,
obviously there's certain bands that are like super tied to the artists that do it, but it's like
until it's Kill Switch Engage and both guitar players and the lead singer are out, right? So it was like,
oh man, that'd be a dream. That'd like the 3 Days Grace thing where both the singers are back now.
No, they were gone. That's what I'm saying. So like, I seen Kill Switch Engage at a concert one time, and I was so fucking mad because
they didn't have either of the singers.
Both guitar players were gone.
What?
And the lead singer was gone.
What?
So they had 3 fill-ins. So the
That's
only
not,
original
wow.
band members were the drummer and
Okay.
the bass player.
Wow.
Now,
That's
granted, the saving grace was it was Phil from All That Remains that was filling
Okay.
in.
Okay. Of course. Yeah. I mean, that helps a little bit. I mean,
That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. That was it. That was everything else I was super disappointed with.
yeah.
Because I paid to go see Kill Switch Engage, and I saw a version of Kill Switch Engage. So you got to be careful in your substitutions. You can't go full roster like an NFL roster with a bunch of ACL injuries. You had a new starting quarterback, a new starting wide receiver, no, you can't do that in a band. There's only 5 of you. Like at most 2 fill-ins.
Yeah.
And your singer can't be one of them.
I remember I saw Kill Switch Engage probably 9 years ago now. They were playing at the Caboose, like outside of it. They had like a pop-up venue set up, like right outside the Caboose. Yeah.
No shit.
And I remember fucking one of the most rock star things I've ever seen on stage. So fucking Adam D, he fucking like just fucking full on chugs of beer, just like in his mouth as he's like playing the fucking solo to one of the songs. I was like, this is fucking badass. Like
Adam D's the man.
Yeah.
I feel like Adam D didn't get famous enough.
Yeah. He's a great producer too. He's produced a lot of good records. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say All That Remains' best record is an Adam D record.
Yeah.
I think that guy is an actual genius.
Yeah.
Not just a creative genius. I think he's an actual genius. Have you ever seen him on Price is Right?
I have not, no.
Murph, let's wrap this up with this. Pull up Adam D, Price is Right. What time is it?
8:17.
Perfect. Adam D, Price is Right. It might come up as like Adam Dunkovich or Adam Dukovich or whatever the fuck his Polish-ass last name is. And I can say that because I'm Polish.
There you go.
Well, I'm Polish. I'm Polish Jew, but
It's not racist if you're actually the same.
did you find it? Yeah. You've never seen this? You've never seen Adam D on
I don't
Price
think
is
so.
Right? It's
No.
awesome. So there's one on Loudwire, which has got more views. Give us the more popular one. Or maybe give us the less popular one. I don't fucking know. No, give us the more popular one. But yeah, this motherfucker just was like legitimately on The Price is Right. Yeah, you give us a little audio. Yeah, because we'll win this one. All right, there you go. He's a huge human being. Did you see that midget next to him? He's so excited. Look at the smile on his face. See, you can kill it. You can see, actual genius, dude. You don't just win Price is Right because you're lucky. Like, you have to study that shit, dude. Like, you have to really know what you're doing. Like, yeah, that's Adam D, dude. Like, actual genius, man. Fucking love that guy, dude. Where can people follow you, dude?
Yeah, so we're called The Failsafe. You can follow us on all social media platforms. Probably our biggest one is Instagram. We are The Failsafe, all one fucking long ass thing. You can find our music on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, YouTube. Our new songs are under our current label, Ghost Killer Entertainment. But yeah, just fucking look up The Failsafe. Failsafe is all one word, no hyphen.
Oh, one thing I wanted to touch base with you before you get out of here. You speak fluent Japanese?
Yeah, I do.
So I thought, oh, he must have married a Japanese woman. But no, that's not why. Why? How the fucking why do you speak fluent Japanese?
I studied it in college, and yeah, I studied abroad there my senior year.
No, you went to Japan, lived there.
Yeah, for 6 months.
No shit.
Yep.
So, okay, hold on. Murph is yelling shit from the producer chair. What? Okay.
Akashiri Saru?
Yeah. What does that mean?
Saru is monkey, right? Red, yeah. Oh, red ass monkey, yeah. Akashi, yeah, okay.
So what does red ass monkey mean? Why is Murph laughing his ass off in the background?
He's like, it's the only Japanese he knows.
No, I was fluent.
Oh, really?
I lived there for 4 years.
No
yeah.
shit.
Nice.
76 to 80.
No shit. So the crowd, the listeners, the viewers can't hear. Murph just confessed he lived in Japan for 4 years.
Nice, yeah.
And you studied over there for 4 years.
6 months. But I had a Japanese girlfriend at the time, and she didn't speak any English, so that's how I got pretty good.
So it was a woman.
It was a woman.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I fucking knew it,
Yeah.
dude. I fucking knew it, dude. I knew it, bro.
Yeah.
Goes back to the very first thing we talked about. For the pussy, bro. The shit men will do for vagina is fucking astounding. We never fail, dude. I'm telling you, I've liked bands because of a girl. Like, how young were you?
I think
Post, you were pre-25.
I was 21.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pre-25. I knew it.
Just old enough to drink.
And just young enough to think their opinions matter. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Are you married now, right?
No, I have a girlfriend. We live together, but not married.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Here's your beautiful website. Look at these gorgeous human beings. Chad looks very upset. Chad looks very upset in this photo. Like, you look like you've only eaten salads for about a month. Like you look like you just need some fucking protein.
That was at the
Your new bass player is clearly irritated. He's just going, you guys, I'm super talented and you're not letting me write enough songs. And then Jesse is just like, dude, have you seen this jean jacket? That's Jesse's look right now. Jesse's looking at this camera like, dude, but this fucking jean jacket, bro. I love it. I love this photo. Everything about this photo is just like, dude, the look in your eyes right now is like, dude, I want a steak. The look in your eyes is like, bro, I need some fucking meat. I need some goddamn protein. If I don't eat a chicken live, I'm going to kill a human. That's what the look in your eyes says in that photo.
Yeah, so we did this photo shoot at the same time we filmed the music video for that song, Wolves. And
Chad looks so upset.
Yeah. But like me and Chad knew that night after that. So and it was in St. Louis where we did this. So me and Chad the whole time are thinking like we have a fucking like 10-hour drive to get home after this.
So
Yeah.
scroll back up. Hold on. So what did he say? We got a 10-hour drive. Yep, that looks like what Chad said. And then what Kyle is saying is, I still haven't eaten any protein though, and we're gonna go back on
Yeah.
the road. And I'm very upset
I'm
about
like,
this.
yeah.
Because you're a
I need
very
some
fit
fucking
guy.
muscle
You're a
milk.
very fit guy. And it's clear you've only been eating fucking salads and drinking juice for about 8 days. You're not happy in this scenario. You're like, I look great for this photo. However, if I don't eat some fucking meat. And then Chad's just like, dude, I gotta drive, bro. And then Jesse just again, but have you seen this jean jacket?
Yeah.
I love you guys so much, dude. You're one of my favorite. I don't even want to call you a local band because you guys are so far and above a local
Yeah,
band.
we try to avoid that label. That's the
You should, and you
Yeah.
should, and you should,
Yeah.
because local is amateur, right? You're just a band from here.
Yep.
And you're not really even from here because Jesse's not from here. Well, he is, but
Oh, he doesn't live here.
and your bass player's not from here. So,
Yeah, he's from Fargo, so but he lives in South
God damn it, you're ruining my rant. So this is the tour you guys just got done with.
Yeah, we gotta update this. I haven't bothered to since we don't have any other shows ready to announce yet.
Doesn't matter. Love you guys. Let's wrap this up. So you don't have any upcoming shows or tour dates. So if anybody wants to keep in touch with you, follow you online,
Yep.
we are thefailsafe.com. Personally, if they're a fan of you as an individual, what is your
Yeah,
personal online handle? How do people follow you?
I
specifically?
I have my own YouTube channel where I do like a lot of guitar covers and stuff. So if you just look up my name, Caio Thomas on YouTube, you find that. I actually just put out a new cover yesterday for the first time in a year and a half.
So just look at
So-
the spelling. There's only
Yeah.
one of him, even though his last name's Thomas. There's not. Is it?
Yeah.
d-
Yeah, there's one of them right there. He's shredding.
That doesn't even look like you, dude. Give us some audio. This is all thanks to Guitar Hero. You guys. No, I'm not even saying that in a negative way. I'm just saying, like, legitimately, this is a
Yeah.
brilliant musician that you guys are all enjoying right now because of Guitar Hero. Wow, dude. That's really good. That's really impressive.
Yeah, fucking.
Hey, guess
that
what?
song takes forever to learn.
Fuck you, guy. No, I love you. I love you, brother. I've been a huge fan of you guys for a while, man. I appreciate you coming down and hanging out on the podcast. Guys, if you're
Hell yeah.
interested in coming seeing me play live, I do have a show coming up quick. It's January 17th in Northeast Minneapolis at Club Underground. We're playing with the Silic, Polydemonic, and Manifest Brutality. We're playing third on the bill. It's an early show. Doors are at 6 p.m. Free parking. Come down, check it out. Links in the description. Absolutely appreciate everybody who's come and hung out. I hope you guys check out the Failsafe. I've been a fan of these guys for a very long time. Can't say anything more great about these guys. I mean, I just keep trying to have them on, and I just want everybody to keep supporting you guys because I think you guys are doing it the absolute right way. You're not the only
you.
ones doing it the right way, but you're one of my favorite bands that are doing it the right way. So, love you guys. We'll catch you on the flip side, man. Before you hit exit, by the way, we're gonna do another one this week. So we're back this Thursday, and then we're off all of next week. So we're not going to be back next week. We do not have any podcasts. Enjoy it. We'll see you at the beginning of the new year. Love you guys.